Hold on. Bam, bam.
I haven't been to work since July, so everybody's like,
oh, you're still not even back to work?
Not yet. I will be there in 8 weeks.
Girl, I'm so proud of you.
So that's why everybody's like,
what you're gonna want to do is, it's this one, the DA, the password. It's okay. No, because I want you to be able to. I know you said your homies want you to be able to see, so you're on the Wi-Fi, and then,
okay.
Like I said, if they don't have the book, and I don't think they have to be friends with me to be able to see it. Okay. Ski Boudons, Peter Byrne, Fred About, Skiby, and then I get to say Amanda Profitt.
Yes, sir.
I mean, take this appropriately, but my grandfather taught me to say this. You look delicious. You look beautiful. Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling great, actually.
Can we, first of all, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
But can we start with our little story? Because I love our story. I had never told anyone our story until we were on our date the other day. And I got to meet the crushie, and I was honored. But you're sitting at Breakaways. How long ago was it again?
This was probably about 3 years now. Yeah, 2.5
You're there,
years.
Stunning, by yourself. In the center too. I'm like, what are you doing here?
That was my day off.
And you know I have a problem that I can't not. I gotta do wellness checks.
Like, who are you?
So you're sitting in the center of breaks. It's like mid-afternoon. It probably was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday. It was my day off.
You're sitting there all by your lonesome. I'm like, excuse me. What is this? And I had never met you. I never even heard of you. And I've been in love with you since. Now, so much happens in 3 years because we're going to like jump around a bit because I've never really even got to talk to you like long-winded. Right. We've always got interrupted by your fame.
A little ADHD, so squirrel. We're going to hop from subject to subject.
But where was home, or like what? Give me to me
before I met you.
Yeah.
So before I met you, I actually lived in Indiana.
Okay.
And I had moved here, so I had been in Florida for about 1.5 years before I had met you.
Mm-hmm.
But I moved here from Indiana simply for the beach.
And what? There, no family, no friends, just.
So my mom actually came down with me, but no family, no friends.
Why Palm Coast?
So let me backtrack a little bit. So originally, my mom is a claims adjuster. Okay. So I got to travel around to different states every time there was a natural disaster. I got to travel with her and kind of experience the new place. So I was helping her with claims during Hurricane, I think it was Matthew or Irma.
One of the biggers.
Right. So I got to experience St. Augustine, fell in love with it. Property is a lot more inexpensive in not St. Augustine.
Yes.
So.
Boom.
Yes.
Now, you were here for 1.5 years before I had seen you and met you. How did you stay on? You just stayed on the radar?
Augustine. I was always in St. Augustine.
So that was just like your.
So I was actually working at Salt Life for about 1 year when I first got here.
Okay.
With the restaurant bartending. And then one of my friends was working at an Ulta, and she told me they're always hiring.
Are we talking about Babe?
No, different friend.
Okay.
Not yet.
It's not.
Not yet. Hadn't met her yet.
Okay.
But I was talking to a friend who worked at Ulta, and I thought it would be a good idea because I wasn't permanent on the idea of being at this east coast of Florida, like this exact city.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I might as well work at Ulta. Being a stylist, you can bounce around, travel, or transfer if you need to.
Because you can work at any, because it's a big, yeah.
Right. So that's what I was doing, and I had my day off, and.
So that day actually was just solo. You really were solo dolo.
It was literally my day off, just coming to see Miss Babe.
So you had already, for those that don't know, this name is going to come up a lot in this podcast. She's already done the show. Her name is Stephanie Swift legally, but she is known as my lover, Babe.
Yes.
She was kind of, it's funny because you would think that she would have been our mediator. No. We fell in love on our own.
Right.
And then Babe was like, wait a minute. I think it was funny because you had come up in natural dialogue at some point, or I think I saw a photo of you guys. I was like, hey, that's my, how is this?
How is she? I know her.
But so you were friends with her before that day at Breaks, and she was probably saying, "Come visit me one day."
That's why I came.
Okay,
yep,
okay.
She was working.
Now you came to the Florida land with you have a baby boy.
A little baby boy,
and he's probably about my height now, right?
He is getting tall. He's 5. He'll be 6 in April.
So when you moved here, it was like 2 or 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was about 2.
So you use a mommy, and then you're still another thing that have you always been? I like what you put, by the way. I copied and pasted your. Is it what is it? Hair master?
Oh, the hair profits. One of my clients actually helped me come up with that. They had a whole piece of paper while I was doing their hair. I wanted them to come up with like a catchy name for my Instagram, and she had a whole list of probably like 12 different names, and I saw that one, and I was like, "That's it.
That's me.
That's it."
I loved it because I'm thinking I've been getting more and more people that are like, do this, do that, and they want me to kind of give them like encapsulate kind of, but it's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rogan is my idol, so I'm like, he doesn't do that sometimes, but it's like, listen to the show and then you get to know. And like, it's tough because some people are like, well, what is she gonna? What am I gonna watch it for? I'm like, well, then don't watch it.
Right. I had some friends ask me, and my brother asked me too, like, so like, what are you guys gonna talk about?
I know.
I was like, me? Watch it.
Hello. But it's funny. I was chilling in Flagler yesterday in the center, and someone told someone that was there, like, you gotta do the show. And the dude legitimately was like, what are we gonna talk about? I'm like, I have no idea. No clue. We're just gonna go. But so now was home forever?
Forever. Born and raised.
Okay.
Yep.
And so you're less than 5 years here still? Has it been like less than 5 here?
It'll be 5 in December.
Wow. And adulting realm, that's not too long.
I know.
It's basically high school.
I know.
So you just you're graduating high school here.
Right. So.
And do you feel you're in a rhythm?
Yes. It took about 3 years for that to happen. About 2 years in, I actually had I was homesick. I missed my family, my friends, because it's like high school, right?
Right.
I missed all my friends. But after about 2 years, it became home.
Now, chronologically, you're here, and this isn't the purpose of the show, but because you are my like a tenacious, beautiful, unbelievable human being.
I love you.
When did this curveball come? Because it was a year ago that it hit.
With
this is your phone.
Yes. So my life changed on June 21st.
Want to get there?
Let's do it.
Because I'm sure you're in this metamorphosis.
Let's do it. Honestly, like I would love to talk about that because I've already helped several people. I can imagine in the time frame.
Following your posts through there, we all know someone dealing with cancer.
Of course.
It's horrible.
Everybody.
And I have some very dear friends and a very close friend of mine that I've known that has been dealing with this for close to a decade.
Mm-hmm.
On my worst day, I try to remind myself to buck the fuck up and chill. It's just a hangnail.
I do that same exact thing. Someone always has it worse.
And I admire you, and I mean this sincerely. This isn't just to be like, burp, but watching your posts.
Thank you.
And how you handled it, I already know that what I saw was this much of reality. Mm-hmm. And I'm so proud of you from a humanistic standpoint, because I say this with all due respect and sincerity. I am such a baby that I literally, I couldn't, I know people say you would when I'm proud of you. Thank and your strength. I would talk to Babe so much about you and be like, I want to be her. She told me, like, you are my spirit animal. I was like, and once again, I'm not just, this isn't just your reflection of like your vanity and what it was the verbiage and your strength and your vulnerability.
Thank you.
And so June 20 what?
June 21st was the first ultrasound
of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go in just because that's what girls do?
No. So start at the beginning. I have a long history of family breast cancer on my mom's side and dad's side. So I always knew there was a chance because it's hereditary. My grandma actually did some genetic testing, found out she does have a gene mutation. She passed it down to several family members, me being one of them. But I found that out. So I knew there was always like a possibility, but being in your 20s, I'm like, obviously that kind of stuff. Well, I thought that stuff happened later in life. So I really didn't do the monthly checks like you're supposed to every 4 weeks, do a monthly check every 4 weeks.
This is going to be really educational too, because it is for those that are listening. I don't want to blow up your actual age because you just, to
Go
me,
ahead.
but
I just turned 30.
Okay. So what you felt in your heart, and I'm sure with your family members were probably like, hey.
Yeah, they were. My grandma, she kept on saying like, go get the genetic test done, get it done. Because once you find out this, you can do like, it's called prophylactic, but it's like preventative treatments. That way you don't have to go through cancer.
Yeah. So you go to this appointment.
So before I made the appointment, I didn't even make the appointment. So, okay, first off, I felt a lump on it's like a ping pong size ball. Like I felt a lump. I let the girls in the salon feel it. I let my mom feel it, and they all had the same reaction. Everybody's jaw dropped. Everybody's like, you need to get that checked. So me being a hairstylist, I'm caffeine hardcore. Like I drink espresso, I have my coffee,
Right.
I do my 5-hour energy shots. I'll take some Excedrin. It's got some caffeine in it. So I'm not in the medical field. So I assumed that it was some kind of caffeine lump or a calcium deposit or something. Being 29, I assumed something small. So I went in for the ultrasound. Generally, these appointments take like 10 minutes at the most because they go in, check, and then they're done.
And you had never had one of these yet?
Okay. Never. Right. So I went in for the appointment expecting it to be like 10 minutes in and out, but it ended up being like 20 minutes. And she was taking pictures, measuring,
They're not saying anything yet?
So in the beginning, when I first got there, the nurse was super talkative. She was nice and like just talkative. And then I could tell that the energy changed when she was doing the ultrasound. She was just measuring a lot of stuff and taking a lot of pictures. So that day I didn't get any information. The waiting game. Yes. So I went home that day. And then 8 days later was when I got a paper in the mail that said, you need to go to your nearest breast clinic. Because
it doesn't say anything on the paper?
Nothing. It just said there was some abnormality.
This is some torture, girl.
Right. So my mom was thinking fast, and she was actually the one who made the ultrasound appointment. I didn't even make it. I didn't think it was a big deal. She obviously thought it was. So when I got the paper, she instantly called the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville and made me a mammogram appointment, and that was my first mammogram. And I don't want to say I got diagnosed that day, but pretty much. They have everything at the Mayo Clinic to where they can send off all these different tests, and you have answers that same day instead of having to wait months to go by.
Jeez.
So I knew that day pretty much without them saying, hey, like you have cancer. Here's all the statistics, but we're not going to say this word yet until the biopsy comes back.
Because there's all the legalities of.
Yes, they have to find they have to basically stage it, find the DNA of the cancer to find the treatment. They want to have all the answers before they tell you. That way, when you ask the questions, they can answer them for you.
I can't even imagine those 8 days of purgatory of just like firm.
The best way I can explain it is an Alice in Wonderland, like just shrinking. Or one of my clients had the best comparison. She said, I'm sure it feels like you were in the middle of a tornado. But it's calm in the tornado, but everything else is just a whirlwind outside. Like it really is crazy. I've never been through anything like that in my life. Like it's Alice in Wonderland. Like it doesn't seem real.
It probably still doesn't.
I couldn't say it. I physically could not say I have cancer for the first month and a half. I couldn't say it.
It's horrible words. So now, by the way, are you okay temp-wise? I didn't even ask you.
Yeah, I feel great.
All right, because I keep it cold. So it gets spicy.
With the cancer treatment, I have hormone therapy, which means I get hot flashes like crazy.
Well,
so
I got it cold. So if you're good, I'll go colder if you need. Okay.
I feel good. If you see me turn red and start sweating, you're gonna be like, she's got a flash.
She's having a moment. So now how quickly it seems like you were in treatment pretty quick. They didn't play around. It was
about a month before they got everything finished and treatment started.
Okay.
I started treatment. So I found out June 21st was the first day I got the ultrasound. Then I had to wait a week to find out. Then I had to wait 2 weeks before I even could go to the Mayo. Okay. So I was at the Mayo for a week before. It's
crazy though. 2 weeks is the same thing. That's like 2 years when you're waiting for something.
That was like and so we'll come back to this. But my mom actually just found out that she just got diagnosed 2 weeks ago with the same exact thing. Only hers is found super early. But right now she's going through the worst of it too. And that's kind of how I explain it to her. Like right now you're in the worst. It does nothing but gets better from here because it's all confusion.
This is the trauma.
Shock. And then after this, you basically have an address, and then you just follow the GPS. So you're ending goal.
Well, what a moment now for you to be able to be her beacon.
And that's exactly what I am being.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, sending a lot of love to mommy right now. Golly,
she's there right now, actually. At the Mayo doing more testing right now. She'll be okay. I know she will be.
She's going to be okay, but this is yet again.
I know another.
I know you needed this like a hole in the head.
Like what?
Jeez,
I was like, why didn't we do the testing with me? Because then we could have went to like a carpool to the chemo treatment. It's like
buy one get one free, maybe.
Right? I know. Seriously, it's like having twins,
Man.
one delivery with 2 kids. So
well, what seriously. A moment right now that you're still in, and I admire your fierceness because I didn't even ask you to be on the show. You came to me, I was honored.
Well, and that's the thing, like. Had I not went through what I'm going through, she would have never known. She could have caught it later.
Right.
Like, and there's been like other family members and friends up in Indiana that have now went and had their first mammogram or ultrasound.
Because you're waking them up.
Yeah. And done the genetic testing because it's not just 40s and 50s and 60s. It literally was 29 when I got diagnosed. It could have had it at 27, 26. It's just.
So you're 30 on the dot now?
Right.
Wow. The 3-0. So this is huge though, because now, did you get your clean bill of health? Like I
am cancer free. Yes, I had my double mastectomy with reconstruction on January 14th.
Okay.
So they got rid of all of it, lymph nodes included. They took out 6. 3 of them were positive. The other 2 were negative, which is good. But I do have to do 2 more treatments to basically limit the reoccurrence percentage. So I'll have radiation. It starts in a week and a half.
Okay.
That'll be for 5 weeks, and then I will have hormone therapy for 5 years, which is it's a pill and a shot every day. So the shot's once a month, the pill's every day.
Crazy question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, being that you're still in it, still like your clean bill of health though, but I can't even, I would imagine we would need to do 10 of these for me to try to understand who you are becoming and have become mentally.
So I'm literally like, I kept on calling myself a fat, ugly caterpillar because here's what happens when you go through chemotherapy. They put you on steroids. You have to take a bunch of steroids. Wow. Steroids make you hungry. So then you eat. Everybody thinks that cancer patients are like these little skinny crippled, like can't move. But actually it's the opposite. I gained 30 pounds, 27 to be exact, pounds in 4 months. I lost all of my hair. This is a wig, not real. But my hair's about, I might take it off before the end of the show.
I see it. I love when you post it.
Yeah, it's about, it's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. So I called myself a fat, ugly caterpillar because I know eventually I will be a butterfly. I can like blossom.
Okay.
It will happen.
Well, listen, time out, coach. Okay. Let me tell you something. This is, and you hear my heart on this. Life really, truly is not a dictation of vanity. Okay. Mm-hmm. You and I both know that. You now know that more than me. But I'm telling you, I'm the worst because I'm not preaching. I'm trying to practice this, but I promise you, I speak on the behalf of any human being that has been able to see you in the flesh. You are gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm working on the inside
Stupid
too.
Gorgeous.
So
I understand what it's like to be fluffy. Trust me. I know that. I know it, no matter what anyone says, I'm like, no. My pants don't fit. You want to come see? I don't care what you say. You don't know. But you've been blessed with, it doesn't even, you are gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy that through this, you have been able to retain and probably become even more beautiful
on the inside. Like that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I honestly feel like I had to make a change with the way I felt maybe like stuck in a rut.
I'm imagining
how it was. But having this happen literally changed my life. And I say this, like, I know a lot of people, it's a very negative thing to happen in their life, but this might sound crazy, but it's honestly one of the most positive things that's happened in my life.
So that was going to be my question
It's wild.
Would you change it?
No.
Is that crazy?
100% hands down, would not change it.
I don't think that until someone may have to listen to that 100 times before it even makes sense, because I going through on a scale from 1 to 10, I had a 0.05 of a boo-boo. Okay. And I was comatose. Like I was such a baby, but
don't downplay it.
But I look back on it and I go, I wouldn't change it.
Right.
It made me
grow.
Actually, the team that I'm helping managing today is playing the team that I got hurt against. So I'm
there
like,
you
coming in. But I wouldn't change what I learned. I know right now you're probably in your den of just pen mode and just growing. What are some things that you would say to somebody, what you're doing for your mother right now, that you've come to like for instance, I've been saying a lot through a lot of prayer lately that I want to be where I want to be, not have to be.
Yes.
Like, where are there some things that, not even just slogans, but like, what's something
I do affirmations daily.
Yeah.
So I had a client who I didn't realize at the time, but she kept on reaching out to me like early on when I first got diagnosed. She kept on reaching out to me saying like, do you have an upset stomach, or do you have dry skin, or just little things like. I almost felt like she knew what I was going through without, like she just like
knew.
For me, she was just a client. I didn't know.
Right.
I knew she owned a restaurant up in New York, but I didn't know other than that what she did for like career. Long story short, she's actually a cancer doctor.
Get out of town.
Yes. So she basically has got my mind right. She's more holistic approach.
Amazing.
So she got my mind right, and the doctors are taking like the medicinal approach. I called her in the middle of the night one time. It was before I knew what she did. I was crying. I couldn't. I was like depressed. Like honestly, I was just like I wanted to move back to Indiana.
You're having a fetal moment.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So first I called my sister. I was like, I need some help. They have me on all these pills. I'm feeling just not myself. And she told me to watch this movie called Heal. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Amazing. I think it's
called Heal.
Yes. Heal. Heal. But it basically just talks about how to heal yourself from the inside, and the body kind of takes over. Terminal diseases they stem from other places that aren't. They stem from your brain. Happiness. We'll just say that. But she got me eating right, eating healthy, eating raw, like no preservatives, all 80% vegetables. I was drinking a lot of coconut water. She got me reading affirmations every day. She would literally have me say it out loud. She wrote one specifically. It was about a paragraph long, but she wrote it for me specifically, and she wanted me to read it 3 times a day out loud. That day was the day that my life started changing, because I was having pity parties for myself.
Of course. You're allowed to.
I was. Like the first 3 months was rough. I was on, it's called adriamycin, and they call it the red devil is what they call it. You literally like pee blood. It's red. It's not blood, but you pee red, you sweat red. Like it's red coming out of your body.
This is like a chemical they put on
chemo. It's chemotherapy.
Girl.
So that was like the first three months, but yes, she changed my whole mindset on everything. And
you never knew that she was this little.
No, had no idea. But she's helped me with every symptom, every side effect, and I think her name's Sabrina. I will say it because she might be watching, but. Sabrina and my sister and then my mom have been like the 3 main people that have.
Is your sister's name Brianna?
Brittany.
Mm-hmm. I seen someone on the post. I'm like, who are you? And
she's been my cheerleader. Like my whole family has been, but like Brittany has been there. She actually surprised me on my last day of chemo. I don't know if
you don't move. I move this.
I don't know if you saw that video, but she.
I think I did. Did you ring a bell or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was that day. Yeah. She had scrubs on. She had a surgical cap on. She walked in like she worked there.
Yeah.
I thought she worked there, but she was surprising me.
So she's in Indiana?
She is.
Is she younger or older?
She's older. She's about 33, 34, maybe 30.
And are you an auntie?
Yes.
Are you an aunt or an aunt?
I'll say both.
What do they call you?
It's aunt. Aunt Amanda.
Oh.
But
so have you, through this situation, I'm sure a lot of people that will be able to watch this at their leisure, they probably haven't heard from you, and not heard from you, but they don't really know what's going on, because this is still, you're not even back to work. I didn't even know that.
Not yet.
Wowzer bears.
I have 8 weeks.
Wait, until you're back to work?
Until I'm back at work.
Why that long?
So I already got approved from disability that they'll pay me till March.
Good. You deserve it.
I can technically work during radiation. I can work right now. Right. But they've already approved me to pay me until I'm off.
You deserve it.
And I still have a bunch of doctor's appointments, so it's kind of complicated. It's kind of harder to
100%
book an appointment and then be like, actually,
no, this is perfect. You get time. So this is like this is a
finalizing
great that you have this to your disposal.
Yes.
God bless.
That's why.
So it's like this is like your maternity leave. You get like this is your rebirth time.
Yes.
I'm so happy because now you get to be calm, cool, collective, and be there for mama.
Yes. That's why and then when I go back to work, my off day is going to be the day that she has to, hopefully she doesn't have to get chemo since they found it early, but they won't know until after surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to
March 1st. March 1st is her surgery.
Okay. So. And then now mama's here still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
So she's got, and now what does your son call your mom?
Nini.
I love hearing about like people's, it's so funny because as I'm getting older, I have more friends that are actually becoming grandparents and stuff. And I'm like, they want to self-proclaim their name. I'm like, I don't think you're allowed to claim your name, man. The kid. Now there are some like things in the heritage, like I have a Nono and a Nona. That's like Italian, but
that's so cute.
It's like some names are like Nini. That was that. Now,
I've never heard of it.
Was that the son your son named
He
her.
did. I don't even know where it came from.
That's it. Well, once you're named,
that's it.
You can't change. I'm sure she loves it.
I have a nickname with my family.
What you got?
Squirrel. Squirrel.
That's is that because that's actually your characteristics, or
it has become that way?
Okay.
But when I was about 2 and 3 years old, apparently I used to put food in my cheeks and leave it there for hours, like green beans.
Like a hamster and squirrels and all those rodents. I see.
They say that you have taste buds on your cheeks when you're like infant, when you're a baby.
Oh, so you were just savoring.
Yeah, the taste, right? I like food.
What's your kryptonite of food?
You really
this is a
know.
squirrel moment, but see, we're scrolling.
So unhealthy.
People are like, why are they talking about food now?
Squirrel, the Hawaiian rolls.
Oh, they are ridiculous.
Oh no, they're so bad.
Have you seen what people do with those things though? Like online,
like with
they cook them. Like I think they're supposed to be cooked.
Yeah.
You ever seen those? Like I was today years old when I found out. Yeah. I didn't know you were supposed to like cook those things. Do you see that Tupperware over there?
Yes.
All right, so
I know what those are.
What are they?
Are those the Red Lobster rolls?
Listen.
Bread.
There is a problem in this like facility that you're in that she can make anything, and these I don't know how she does it because I just come home.
She made them.
They're from scratch, but they're better that you have to have one. And behind there are from scratch brownies with frosting on the top.
She's a keeper.
That you don't even. But it's not good for the gullet, bro.
I know.
I keep telling him like, listen, man.
I know.
But I am a big fan of the breads. I mean, it's
sweet bread, like Amish bread. You ever had friendship bread, like around the holidays?
Is that where they tie it with the egg in the middle?
It takes 10 days to make it. What? Every day you add an ingredient.
Get out of town.
Yes, it is so good.
We're gonna make some friendship bread, bro.
10 days, and you can't make it unless you have a start off.
Are you a cooker?
Else. I'm becoming that way.
Because you're like.
At home all the time.
Can I break every rule of conduct and just love on you for a minute in regards to something? Stop taking Excedrin yesterday.
I haven't taken Excedrin.
Thank God.
Well, I've taken one since the whole
It almost killed me.
The heart.
Excedrin. No, it was, in all due respect, part of my vernacular, but it was ripping my asshole open. Like it literally says it on the back of the Excedrin bottle too. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
And if it wasn't for Adam Lamnouni at Flagler Chiropractic, I'm no joke. You go to a physician. I'm preaching the choir over here, but go to a physician that do you take any, you fill out the forms that take days. And I used to just like literally draw a line towards no.
Yes.
I didn't take anything.
Right.
Well, I took Excedrins like a ticky-tacks.
I know.
Golly. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And drank Coke.
That's bad.
Horrible.
That's bad.
So this is about 10 plus years ago. Adam's over here chilling. We're like watching the soccer game, and I'm popping Excedrin like a Tic Tac. And he goes, whoa, what's that? Now he's allowed to do that because we were home, and he wouldn't do that in public. But we're at my house, and he's like, whoa, what's this? And he's helping me try to figure out why my asshole's falling out. And I'm thinking I'm going to die because I'm literally like, it's over, dude. It's over. It was nice knowing everybody. I'm dead. I literally, no joke. I had a come to Jesus moment. I was on the beach with my dad. I'm like, I'm dying. It's over. Like I'm such a hypo.
And you're on the beach.
Yeah.
What do you do?
It's like, just say your goodbyes now. And so Adam sees this and he goes, how many are you taking that a day? And I'm like, until they're gone, basically. I use too much. So long story short, the Excedrin is probably the worst. And I hate hating on the Excedrin. I'm probably going to get kicked if the Excedrin pharmaceutical reps are saying this, like delete. But it's horrible. Like literally thins your entire. It's what it's doing is it's thinning your bloodline or your cardiovascular system, all of your veins and all of your stuff.
You would be surprised. So the first 2 months I had to take a certain kind of chemo. It's super strong. Can't have it again in your life ever again because it's so strong.
Wow.
The next 12 weeks I was on a chemo called Taxol. They were doing a blood draw every week to check my levels.
Wowzers.
And if I just took one ibuprofen, it would throw my numbers way off, like the levels. Like there's like a margin of where they should be, like the safe numbers. And it would be either really, really high or super low, depending on what I took. So, and it would be like one pill and it would affect me for the whole week. So like Tylenol, ibuprofen, Excedrin, Aleve, those are actually, they cause more harm than you would know.
Isn't it funny? We don't know.
It rips the lining in your stomach, like all of that.
Yep. I'm still guilty. Probably once or twice a month. I still take, I think I've got, it's funny, the better of them, but the least abrasive one for the tummy and stuff, because every once in a while, because of like it's the headache. Once I have the migraine set in, I'll fight it and fight it and fight it. I'll be on like the cusp of the second day, and I know I've got like let's say I've got a coach tonight, and let's say I had a migraine, I'm fucked. Like I know I have to take something because it won't go away.
So I know your wife, is she okay? I know she does a lot of the oils.
Yeah.
Have you experimented with oils?
I have, but once mine, I get like gorilla migraine.
Okay.
It's like if it's funny, if I can catch it before, I'll like lay down, put ice on my neck or my head, and she has a concoction for a headache one, but it's got to be like I got to get it real. But once it's in where it's like you got it in the eye,
blurry,
and you're like I'm done. And if God forbid I got like 3 phone calls to make back to back, I'm cooked. Or like a day like you got. So you haven't been back to work since.
I go up there occasionally, but I haven't worked.
You haven't worked. Mm-hmm. How do you think has your clientele? Or they all wait? Like, they got to be like.
Oh my God, I love them. If they're watching right now, I love you guys. You're amazing. You literally have been the reason why I'm so happy and excited to come back because I literally love my job. I know everyone that knows me and that's seen me in the workforce knows this about me. My clients know it, family knows it, like just my friends know it. I can't wait to see them. And I've seen a few of them like here and there, like lunch or dinner, just come over to my house. A million clients have dropped off plants and flowers and lotions and oils and just
beautiful.
It's the outpour of love that I've got is just I want to do it again I want to do that for everybody else that I know. You
want them to experience it.
Yeah, like it was. You can't hate people with the love that I was just shown.
Right.
Like, I can't.
That's beautiful. It's awesome that you're in a type of industry that can love you back.
They are. They do love me too. Like I have one particular client. Her name's Lita. She calls it Blessings Friday because every Friday I would have my chemo treatment. But to this day, she still sends me blessings on Fridays. Like a random Snuggie or a book or something from Max. She got him walkie-talkies for Valentine's Day.
Oh, is that your son's name?
Yes.
Is it Maximilian?
It's Maxton.
Maxton?
Mm-hmm.
He's the first Maxton. I've never met a Maxton.
He's one of a kind.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I've known a Maximilian. I think that's actually, is it? I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's what it was like on paper.
That's what I call him. It's his nickname.
Maxton.
He's got Maxie Poo.
Maxalicious, of course, that's
Maximilian.
Those are his mommy
Mad
names.
Max.
This is so warming because your life, you deserve it. The word karma and energy and this and that is so, it can get so cliche, but
it does.
I would say I saw a little soundbite with, and I'm not like a massive fan of his, but he actually said something it was a soundbite I heard. It was Pitbull. And he said, money can buy happiness when you give it away.
Yes.
I was like, damn.
Yes. So I love that because I've always thought that money makes you more of who you are already. So if you're a bad person, you're going to be a terrible person if you win the lottery. If you're a good person, you're going to do great things with your money. So it all depends on your person when you get money.
It's I do a lot of, as I'm sure most of us, we have our little quiet place, and I felt something, and this isn't anything profound, but it's like where your money is, your concentration is. Mm-hmm. So it's probably important to, and I'm not talking about investment money. I'm not talking about like, it's on the stocks.
Right.
I mean, like, don't let it own you. You know what I mean? So like if your money is helping someone, and I don't want to sound like Gandhi over here, but it is nice. I got contacted the other day, and I would never post this, but those that listen to the show get a little behind the scenes of who and what we are. Mm-hmm. I got contacted the day of like, and it was so funny. It was like, he'll help you. It was tagged on something on Facebook, and someone needed a bicycle. Aww. And I'm like, I love that I'm known for
helping.
Like, yes. Like I would rather that than like, he's got great, business, which is helpful, but it's still cool. So the guy, I don't know if you saw a peek next door to the bicycle man land over here.
No, but
he's got 10,000 bicycles. I have some in the shed, but I'm like, hey guy, we're going to give a bike. And he's like, what size? I'm like, what size? I don't know. He's like 26, 32, 47.
You got the plug on bicycles.
Yeah. So he's supposed to call me back. I don't know who he is, but it's a wonderful feeling. You want to know?
Nice things for people.
It's a beautiful thing. Another little secret, because it's wonderful to see how you've probably always been this way, but now you have this like, I got to do it even more. Mm-hmm. I've given away every car I've ever owned.
love that.
Yeah, I would never post that.
That's how my mom is.
It's a beautiful feeling.
If you met my mom, you would fall in love. Like,
I never met her, huh? I feel like
no, but everyone, like Stephanie, they're best friends. Like everyone who's met my mom. I think
your Babe's talks so much about her. I feel like
you probably already know her.
Yeah.
And with this, that sounds like the way your wife is. It sounds like like my mom is just one of a kind person. It sounds like Camille is a one of a kind person. It sounds like they have a lot in common. But my mom does stuff like that. Like she gave away her Lincoln to my sister. She gave away a Mustang to her nephew, and just she bought my Jeep for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a nice little. I don't have nice vehicles because I don't commute. So those that have them, I'm like, they're needed.
Right.
But if I commuted, I would have something. But like getting in that, I was like, ooh, that's nice. So thank you, Mama. So now Mama is like. You see her every day pretty much?
She lives 3 miles away. She's been my rock through this whole thing. Like she's helped me through everything through this because it's.
I can't imagine.
You need a support system.
How are you doing right now? Like, how are you you got it?
So I had the surgery about 6 weeks ago now.
Okay.
And I have more like mobility. So physically, I'm getting stronger, but I don't have range of motion like I did before the surgery.
Okay.
So I'm doing great. Like mentally, I'm doing great. Physically, I'm just trying to get stronger. But I need to practice doing hair again because I know my arm muscles are not like the way they used to be.
I couldn't believe until I was actually as I've fallen more in love with Babe, and I've got a handful of friends that are in the industry of that, but getting to know her even better and. I couldn't believe how much like you got to be so.
Oh, they're always up.
I'd be cutting ears all day, bro.
They're always up
because you're just like
constantly the whole.
It's a lot.
8 to 10 hours, however long you're there.
And it's funny because I'm sure most of your clients now have hair longer than me that they're like waiting for you.
I have a handful. Leah is one of them. She said that she's not cutting it until I come back to work, and then she's going to cut it and donate it for weeks. Yeah, my clients and. Babe will tell you, my clients are amazing. Every single one of them. Like
it's amazing that you built such a beautiful client. It says a lot about you that because once again, in 5 years in adulting terms, some of our toothbrushes are that old. Think about it. You know what I mean? Like that's beautiful that you have built a livelihood in such a short period of time. Do you see I don't like adulting questions, but this is kind of an adulting question.
I do. I like
But do you see yourself like indefinitely in this area or do you
in this industry?
No, industry, I'm sure. But I mean like this area, like as Palm Coast, St. Augie, the Easter. This is going to be.
Yes.
Okay.
I bought a house. Brand new house.
I was gonna say that because I saw it online.
Yes, and so that's why I planted some roots. So my whole life I've kind of been like a gypsy,
nomadic.
I don't really like this. Let's go try this. I don't like that. Right. Kind of moving on, finding out what makes me happy, and planted some roots. Bought a house, 3-bedroom. Me and my baby boy live there, and love it. It's in St. Johns County.
So proud of you.
But it's out in the country, and love it. So I'm here.
This is home. I saw when you posted that. I figured I was like. She home.
It is.
I still love our little romance story that I just met a random person.
So what I will say about that, so long story short, the property was actually bought from my mom. She bought 5 pieces of property, gave one to me, gave one to my sister, gave one to my brother. So that's what brought me here because the hurricanes bought the property.
Yep, all makes sense.
So long-term wise, that was just my first home because I wanted to buy a house before I was 30 and I did it. My long-term goal is to build my custom house on the Don Anderson Highway because I love that.
Isn't it nice out there?
Oh my gosh, yes.
No such thing as neighbors in John Anderson.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's like country with the ocean.
Yep.
Like it's where I want to be.
Yep, it's beautiful out there, and you're gonna get it.
I will.
It doesn't happen as much now as I'm getting. To use the word older, but now what happens is it seems to be the people that I did grow up with. Ask me, which is like the most humbling, like weepy type of feeling when they ask me to talk with their kids that are hitting their adolescences, and they're like, "We want you to talk to them, and we want them to be like you." I'm like, no, you don't want them to be like me.
You're
but
such a role model.
I try telling them that, as stupid as it sounds, because I hated when people said this to me when I was a kid, because I barely passed high school. They were like, "You could be whatever you want." I'm like, "Yeah, really? You think so, bro? Like, you have no idea." I have F's. But you really can. It's so crazy that I was on the phone today with a very dear girlfriend of mine that I've known I think 20 years.
Mhm.
And she's very dear to me. And we've accomplished, and this has nothing to do about monetary.
Mhm.
I don't,
Yes, no,
money
right.
is good. It's good to continue to have success. But my dictation of success is rest.
Yes.
And it's crazy to look back and go, by the way, quick squirrel moment. Do you know if you have to take the SATs to pass high school?
You didn't when I was in high school. You didn't have to.
I know. I don't remember. I didn't even take the SATs.
I took the ACT.
I took this HSBC. So like it was basically an acronym for probably stupid. No disrespect to those that did, but I remember they were like, you don't need to take the SATs. Like you're not going to college. But did you have to even take that to pass?
No, I didn't have to. I took it to get in. It was like a placement test for a different school.
Because I was just talking with
have to.
someone that had as a kid that's about to be in a senior or graduating, and they know exactly what they want. Like the God bless her at the fear.
Yeah.
She's like,
At 18.
She's like, I'm like, girl, then.
Envious of people
And
like
then they
that.
were asking me, like, do they? And I'm like, I don't actually know. So I think the mom called and was like, hey, you can unschedule this thing. And the people were like bewildered, like, like if you don't take it, you're gonna die. Like, so it's funny because I don't know what our school system requires here in Florida, if you have to or not, but you didn't. But that was in Indiana.
So I think it just depends on the college you're wanting to go to.
Did you go to college?
I went to a tech school, and then I went
for cosmetology
No, I went to Ivy Tech for business administration first.
Wow.
And then I went to cosmetology school.
That's awesome that you went. So like it was
Ivy Tech is what it's called.
Was it in your hometown?
Indiana. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's called Ivy Tech. State. Yeah.
See, I'm so not school. I'm like, was it a whole, how does that work? Was it a year or two?
2 years for business administration.
When did you get this cosmetology? Is cosmetology the umbrella name for hair?
Cosmetology is skin, hair, nails. So it is an umbrella because esthetician is skin.
Okay.
Nail tech is nail. Cosmetology is an umbrella for all of it.
When did you get this fever?
So middle school, I actually had people telling me, you look like a hairstylist. You look like a hairstylist. My cousin, I remember.
Because you probably were so beautiful.
She told me that. Well, I love
You just
fashion.
always have style. You got style,
fashion.
girl.
I remember being in 4th grade, drawing a picture of this girl who was wearing a purple shirt, black pants, and black boots. And it was a model walking on the runway. And it was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wanted to be a model. I'm not tall enough, not skinny enough.
Who doesn't want to be when you're
right?
I still do.
That was my dream.
I'm going to be a model.
So I love the fashion industry. My grandma actually owned a salon up north called the Orchid Room.
You say up north again, Indiana? I love that up north. For those that are listening, up north means Indiana.
Hoosiers. But Indiana. So it stems from my grandma. She was a hairstylist, and I fell in love with the beauty field. And
so did you used to go into the salon? You have all these memories, the smell. So it's like a trigger point.
Yes.
Oh, the permies.
That rotten egg
I know that smell.
Yes, yes. Every time someone does it at the salon, I'm like, oh, we're in a salon again.
Grandma, where are you?
Back in like 1995.
Wow. So it's very nostalgic for you too, being in a hairdresser's. Like,
it is. I love it. She gave me all of her old vintage like shears and clippers. Wow. They literally have rust on them.
Do we still have Grandma?
Lauder. Yes. Yes. She's moving down.
Get out of town.
June, July. She'll be here. My mom is actually building.
Wait. So what's your son called?
Grandma.
She just gets the.
She's
so
grandma.
The OG gets just the grandma. Nini's the.
Nini. Yes.
Okay, so she's coming to Florida. From up north.
From up north.
Wow.
And my sister, the one who's been there like through
Brittany.
Everything. Yep.
And she's got how many?
She has 3 kids, but one's going to college up there. So 2
she all grown up.
She is. She had 16.
How old is your sister?
She's like 34.
Oh, she's old.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm way older than that.
She had my little her name's Briannica, but we call her Breezy. Okay. Everybody's got nicknames in my family.
Is there a Brianna?
Briannica.
Is she on Facebook?
Brianna used to work with me at Ulta.
I swear I see a Brianna on the things. It's got it. Okay.
Friends. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you have a Brianna.
Brianna, friend.
It's a beautiful name.
Mm-hmm. She worked at Ulta, and then Bree, Stephanie's friend Bree.
I know she's hurt right now. Shout out to you, Bree. She got a boo-boo. She's been playing soccer. She came out to start playing soccer, and she had beautiful soccer IQ, and because she's an athlete, and she helped me a lot during my injury. Right there, I was on the couch, and I was like, "I am dead forever. I am going to go drown myself."
What'd she do?
She just something. It was one of those spooky injuries where like nothing just dropped.
Oh man!
And she knew. She's like, burp. She was right in front of me too. She had just received the ball, and she did a skidamarink-a-dink or something, and the ball, and she just boop, and thank God it wasn't like gut-wrenching screaming, but she literally was like, it was like in slow-mo. She had grabbed her knee and was like, look at me like,
going down.
So she's rehabbing right now. Yeah.
And she teaches yoga. So
yeah. Thank God. I think she's still able to work her job.
I just had a conversation with her. I haven't got to respond back yet, but I'm going to start doing mastectomy yoga with her, actually.
What's that mean?
So mastectomy means...
No, that I knew.
Right.
But there's a form of yoga to help.
Because just to give you range of movement. Like I can't even barely put my arms up yet.
I can't imagine. Is there like pain when you're doing it, or is it just gets stiff? It gets uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable and stiff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is gonna like help. Actually, it's
stretch
programmed.
Everything out. So basically, they have an expander. They have an expander in right now. It's behind the pec muscle, so it's stretching out the pec muscle. And then 6 months from now is when
there's a thingy in there.
Implant goes in.
You have like a thing in there.
Like expander.
Girl, you strong girl.
Oh, wow, it hurts. That hurts.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Are you, and I only ask this once again, for those that may be dealing with something similar, or how are you having less or more or equal amount of like fetal position moments here? Like, how are you doing in those?
Mentally.
And I only ask that out of love, by the way, because I know it's going to help those that are dealing with something.
I break down. Everybody's going to break down. You're human. Like nobody is just a stone cold rock and just can keep going. You got to stop and take breaks mentally. And that does happen to me to this day. But I have a thing that I do as soon as I start feeling like out of balance, I read a book, some type of book. Right now I'm reading What If It Did Work? It's a client got it for me. One of her friends, South Florida, actually wrote it, but I'm reading that one. But that's what I help get me back up on my high horse, because I do fall off. And like sometimes the pain makes you, because I get expansions right now, and it literally makes you feel like sick feeling, because it's
just your body.
Oh, it hurts, but it only hurts for like 2 days. After that,
jeez, girl, come on. You're gonna say 2 minutes?
No,
2 days.
2 days. Can't sleep.
You're a beast.
Every hour I'm up, so it's I'm a caterpillar work in progress.
I like caterpillar more than the other one. Oh, all the other words.
I'm a caterpillar.
A gorgeous caterpillar.
What I was going to say earlier about doing nice things for people and it just making me all around happy. Like money doesn't make you happy. I was going to say when I turned 21, I was bartending I was actually serving. I wanted to be a bartender at a place called Britain Tavern.
Are we in Indiana?
Yes. Indiana.
We're up north.
We're up north. And nobody would get these people. They were dancing, having fun, like you're at a bar.
Right.
Nobody would get these people water because water was free. And they're like, I don't want to do that because I'm not going to make any money from it. But I was the girl who got water for everybody. I was like, yeah, of course. You need some water. Have some fun. Cheers. Like, we'll have water together.
Right.
And I started getting tips off of water, like $20 tips, $20, $30, $40 tips off water. And that was like my first like eye opener, like, I'm just doing nice things for these people. I didn't expect a dollar from them. And it just goes to show you, just do nice things and the world will come back. It
really does come back.
It does.
I will tell you, I've learned that if your motive is pure.
Yes. Genuine.
It's I say it so much now that I hope it doesn't lose its impact. But Jay Shear, shout out to him. He taught me being relational, not transactional.
I love that. Yes.
It's a huge thing.
Relations with everyone.
I'm telling you right now, I promise you, we could run a science experiment. If I sat in your chair and all you cared about was, I have this haircut programmed to be 11 minutes and 37 seconds, and I'm going to make $25. And as soon as the last snip, he's out of the chair and he's going to Venmo me and he's out later, I can taste it. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should be in the chair for an hour, but
you got to read
give them
their time.
Make people feel good, not under false pretenses, but be relational. And it's incredible how it's the old plant thing. Remember, if you put a plant in a corner and yawn it every day, it dies. Like, come on, it's unexplainable. You know, like
it absolutely is.
It doesn't even.
And I think that's why I have. It's a biased opinion, but I think I got the best clients because we've built an actual relationship, and they know my intentions. They know I just let me fix this so I can get it perfect. And
I think the hardest thing for me, kissing my 40s now and seeing so many the term hustle and the get it. Everything's got to be monetized. You got to monetize your Insta. You got to, if you're not. Here's what I've learned is that it's all possible and it's all great. But the minute it's this weird shift when people start putting the money, and it's so cliche. We've heard it a million times as kids, but just slow down. Slow down, because like what you went through and going through, you realize how fragile. Like, I think it was kind of mean, but what's his name? Mayweather, the boxer dude. He said this almost from a cocky standpoint because that's his brand. But he said something like, look at Steve Jobs, right? Had it all, the money, the fame, invented the iPhone. And he's gone. Yep. And like, I was talking with the chief of police the other day, and there's always going to be something to be upset about, right? Like, a hotel coming to Flagler? No. And we want to pillage and picket and fight. And I'm all about saving the whales. I'm all about trying to save the world of AIDS. I'm all about it. Of course. But focusing on the 6 inches in front of your face seems to be this beautiful compound effect that you're literally going to be here for less than 100 years, period. If you're past 100, you're going to hate the way you look past 100 anyways. So just get it over with now. Enjoy it now, because if you think you don't look good now, wait till you ever seen those little clips of the people that are like, she's 172 and she's like a corpse, but and you're like, is it real? And I know that sounds really mean, but I can promise you they're enjoying life because they're alive, but it's okay to let go. We're not going to be here too much longer.
It is.
If we're blessed with another 30, because we're now, isn't it scary to think, but so you're 30, let's just say you're on here for another 40, if that.
I know.
Why try to make the world conform around you? Why don't you just navigate?
Yes.
I used to love when we were kids, I'm sure we all have stories like this. I hope, and we're losing them, but the woods, you just see, we didn't clear the whole woods. And I'm not against it, by the way, for those already like, idiot, he's against capitalism. We need to grow. We need to build. I'm all about building. But like when you were a kid, you built your fort and you only cleared, you still got hit by sticks to get to the fort. It was fun. You only cleared what you needed.
It was the journey.
You had to you didn't care that you got the stick in the head and the ant piles and this. You didn't need an 8x8 walkway to get to the fort.
Right.
And I think it's simple to just try the 6 inches in front of your face, man. And I'm so proud that you.
Simplicity is happiness, though. Like I'm going to compare it to what my mom's going through, because again, it's like Alice in Wonderland. Everything gets thrown at you at one time. You can't slow down, stop, and look at today, because you're looking at this archive of all these a million appointments that you're getting ready to go to. But that's what I have to keep having conversations with her, like, slow down, quit thinking about 2 months from now, today. What is going on today? And what can you do today? What can you help today? What can you fix today? Don't think about tomorrow, because
it's so hard to do that. You don't even know if
you're going to be there tomorrow.
Right.
Today, it is. That's why people have to be reminded about it. That's why I'll read my books. Like I love growing your mindset books. I love those kind of books.
Have you always been a reader?
No.
Wow.
I started that when I became a mom.
And mommy, you're a 5-year-old mommy.
Yeah. So within the last 5 years, I've read more being on.
So your reading is like is a relief, like it's a
safe haven,
healing for you.
It is.
And you seem to, when you're reading too, are you a long-winded reader? Do you read like 8 chapters in a row, or are you like little snippets? I'm sure it's always different.
I got a 5-year-old, so.
Yeah. And the story was okay.
Right. So. I try to read while he's at school, while he's not there. And then I know for the rest of the day, basically my attention is going to be directed at him. But I would say no longer than 2 hours. Because
that's a good chunk, though.
Right. It is. I'm happy when I get 2 hours.
What's grade as a 5-year-old?
Kindergarten. He'll be in first grade.
Kindergarten. What school does he go to?
He goes to Southwoods Elementary.
I don't even know where that is.
St. Johns County.
Oh, yeah.
They have the good schools.
There's some good schools over there.
From Indiana. So that's
what kind of like?
So he's in jiu-jitsu, like soccer. Yes, soccer. I did soccer 10 years. Love soccer. But jiu-jitsu, soccer, and Cub Scouts right now.
Girl, he's busy.
Yes.
He's a Renaissance man at 5.
Yes, I'm keeping him busy.
A buddy of mine I've known since kindergarten, basically, sent me a photo the other day, and he had his first, his little girlfriend. He's only 3 or 4, so it's his first like girl.
Crush.
Like where the mom went to him and his mom was like, She wants to hang, and he got his first girl number, and I was like, okay, when we throwing the party. And it's so adorable to see my friends, like kids, like it's so funny how fast they adult.
I know.
Because now I got friends that have kids that are in their teens. And look, I tell all of them that do confide in me because of this. I see some of them at soccer or this and that. And I'm like, don't grow up, man. Don't grow up because they all see the money online and they see the success in there. And it's crazy. I know so many teens that are monetizing, and I'm proud of them. You know, that Amazon wish list shit is for real. And get it, you know, do your thing. But it's funny because the people across the street have been sweetheart people to meet. They've got 2 daughters that are hitting their 20-nothings in their adolescences, and they're so smart where they're like, I'm not moving. They're successful in their own means. They take care of themselves. They pay their bills. But the parents have been kind of like, we're gonna be doing our own thing soon. Like you guys are, and they're smart where they're like, nah, we're good right now. Like we know what's on the horizon, but you don't hear that a lot on the younger community.
I'm proud of them.
Yeah, I told them I'm moving in.
They're wise.
So it's cute though to see. I love the hunger and I love the drive. But for those that are out there, I'm like, I don't want to grow up. Like the whole Toys R Us kid thing was real.
Keep it youthful. Yeah. I mean, that's happiness to me, because don't ever grow up. No. I'm always gonna be a kid.
I don't ever want to grow up.
Yeah,
I love that even through your vulnerability is like so refreshing, because I think it's in my case, I'm biased because I only really belong to a lot of platforms online where there are people being vulnerable. For those that are listening to you today and this is new to them to listen to somebody like this, I'm sure your friends, family, clients, whatever, if there's one thing that comes out of today is the surrounding yourself by people that are being vulnerable, that say that it's okay to not be okay.
Because that's also growth as well. Being
crazy.
Vulnerable. That means you're on.
And you're like, I can taste such, like, it's like, you know, like the way that iron tastes or something, that like blood, like I can taste such, you're not even anywhere on a scale from 1 to 10. You're like a 2 of where you're going to be. And your 2 is someone's 10. Your 2 is my 10.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're nowhere even, you're talking about this and I know you have your fetal positions, but the way you're even talking about it, and the people that are listening to you have no idea how good it feels right now, because it's why I do it in person.
Yes.
Can't you feel it?
Yes.
That you would think that this was 10 years ago, because you're looking at it from an aerial view. Yes. And I'm so proud of you.
That's the way I look at life, though. Like I'm trying to look at the whole picture.
But have you always been this way? Like, I think
being a stylist has helped me become this way more. I've always been like positivity, like just instill it in my head. I didn't used to be in high school. I was negative Nancy all day long. Yeah, I was a Karen. Like, sorry if your name's Karen, but I was not a nice person. And then I actually started working for this company. Well, it's a finance company. People call it a pyramid scheme. Was this
right out of high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Primerica. Pyramid scheme.
What is that? Is that like
finance, life insurance?
Oh, okay, so
but
it's
you
like
can recruit people and then you can make
the money. Okay,
but in the grand scheme of things, corporate America, the higher up you go, the boss equals.
So you're selling Tupperware. Go ahead.
Right, life insurance. So I was, but they really showed me like be the best you can be. Don't settle for less, because they would always like refer it to like the business, like my Uncle Joe tried to do this business, but he failed, so it's a pyramid scheme. But no, Uncle Joe tried to do it for a day. So long story short, I don't give up on anything. I keep trying. Like I love being around positive people. I love being around people who are vulnerable. I love people that are open-minded and don't just have the tunnel vision. Like I do think outside the box, and I don't think anything is impossible. Nothing. And that's why a lot of people say like going through cancer treatment is mindset. And at first you're hearing that like, oh, it's just my mind, but it really is your mindset. You have to put yourself in a positive, safe place, and that's where you'll be.
I've said this a million times, but I don't know if I've ever said it with you. But when the ringing inside of your ears becomes music, you're on the right track.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I spent a lot of time with and I'm telling you, you know how hard it is not saying that to you, like, you know how hard it is to have a boo-boo, but we've become, and we're guilty of it. I've got 7 years on you, but I could say we grew up in the same era where
we did.
Noise is wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We want noise.
Mm-hmm.
I had this, I still have it. One of my quiet places is hearing, if I hear a TV in another room, my mom we always said that we were a TV household and we always had the TV on.
So it was calming?
It's calming.
Okay.
But I don't want to watch it.
Right.
I wanted to watch it with my mom, but as I've adulted, I don't. But like, if I going to bed at night, my mom was very firm with bedtime. You know, like my brother and I, we had to go to bed, and my mom's bedtime was nowhere near mine. I remember being hated it then, but it's like Golden Girls were on, and if I was lucky, I could be like, Mom. But the sound of the TV, but the irony is that it's really not healthy. It's not healthy to need or want noise. And I'm telling you, there's a reason why I think your ears ring. Mm-hmm. You know, they say, actually, if you go to, have you ever heard of the isolation rooms and isolation tanks where you lay in them and they're the exact body temperature that you are, that some people actually freak the fuck out.
They go crazy.
Because they can't, and I may be one of them, because I don't mind sharing this, and for those that have, great, but I'm branded as a dude that's done coke and does a lot of coke. Mm-hmm. I haven't, but I come off like I do because I'm super flamboyant. So really?
Yes,
yeah. And I'm not saying that for those that do, great. I want to. I have no. I 100%. I
need that energy.
Yeah, like I would love to do coke. But I know that I feel like I would never stop because I have an addictive personality. Yeah, and it's like someone was asking me the other day if they wanted to do mushrooms with me, or they wanted to do mushrooms with me, and I said I've microdosed mushrooms, but I've never tripped, because same thing. I'm pretty sound mind, sound body. Yeah. But what if I go somewhere I've never been before and I can't get out? So I'm a little nervy, and that's the same thing with some of these hard drugs. But the point being that it's like, I try to be okay with what all I have, you know, and I'm so happy that at this point, we're still in the grand scheme of things. See, it's funny. So I've got close to a decade on you. You're the baby, you know, and I hate it when people say it to me when I'm like, psh.
It makes me happy. I'm like, oh,
but
I got
enjoy
so much
it.
more room.
Enjoy
like,
it.
Get time.
You are. And same thing that happens to me. I feel like I'm already walking with a walker, and then I meet people that are 10 years of me, and they're like, dude, what I would give to go. I'm like, and I receive it better now.
Humble, yes.
Have you ever noticed too, if you see like I know you're going through a funky right now, but like, have you ever noticed that you'll see a photo of yourself from a year ago and you remember exactly that day?
Yeah.
If it's a good photo or a trigger moment. And you're like, I felt like a fat fuck that day.
But I look so good.
And I was so good. I should have took my shirt off and did a backflip.
I know. Right? Yes.
So I'm trying to remind myself, even though today I feel fluffy, I'm trying to remind myself that in a year from now, you could be fluffier. And even though I'm working to not be fluffier, be sexy today.
That's right.
It's actually what I say to my boys when I'm coaching or playing is be sexy.
Again, in the moment.
In the moment.
Yes.
But it's so hard to slow down.
It is. I feel like I didn't start comprehending that until I was about 26, 27. I have this conversation with my dad all the time. Like, I feel like I didn't wake up and actually comprehend what my parents and family and like all my people were trying to say as a kid growing up. It didn't click until I was in my late 20s. I'm like, I should have bought a house like 10 years ago. What was I thinking? Like, should have
When
listened.
did you, and I had this asked to me once and only once, and it was well received and well asked, and hear my heart on this. When did you fall in love with yourself?
Honestly, it wasn't until my son was probably at least 3 years old when I came to Florida. I started doing what I actually said I was going to do and wanted to do my whole life. That
was your paradigm shift.
I went through a time I felt like I was fluffy and just I had the shortest hair ever. I didn't feel like I was in my prime. But I have other people like my tattoo artist. Like, he is the biggest. He's such a big deal in my life. If he's watching this, he's awesome. But he was such a big deal in my life because when I first had my son, I started getting heavily tattooed when he was about 1.5 years, almost 2.
Okay.
And I would have long sessions with him, like anywhere from 8 to 10 hour long tattoo sessions. And he's like a local celebrity and he's like a therapist. So every time I would sit with him for 8 hours, he'd be like, all right, let's do goal talk. Where do you see yourself in every
I love this man already.
time? That's why I have a house.
Can we name drop this guy?
Shadow Inc.
Shadow?
Shadow.
Was it? That's his name, Shadow?
Yes. Well, his name's Josh. But his name is Shadow Inc. Yes.
Okay.
Shadow.
Where is he?
Indiana. He travels.
Oh, he's up north.
He's a world traveler though. Like he's
Shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow Josh.
Yes. Joshua Tennyson. But he's a big deal because he changed my life.
Does he know this?
Yes. I've told him several times, like he helped me. He saw me in one vision, but I saw myself a different way. So every time I would get in or have an appointment with him, he was like trying to instill in my brain what everybody else was seeing, but I didn't see that for some reason.
So he saw this when you were like not even out of your cocoon yet.
No.
I love you, Shadow Josh.
Yeah, I was in a terrible relationship and he saw that, and he was actually friends with that guy before I even met him. And he was like, he basically brought realization. He made realization in my head. I don't know how he did it, but he made me realize like actual reality. Squirrel moment. Yeah.
I don't want names, guts, and gore, but what type of relations have you always had the poop relationships? Like, has that been a
No, actually.
Okay, then that was really hard then.
It was. I was in a 8-year-long relationship with my high school sweetheart.
Wowzers.
Yes. His name's Brayton. I was with him for a long time. We're still friends, but we ended up breaking up when I turned 21, started getting attention from older guys that have businesses. And I was like, I want my high school sweetheart, but we're still friends. But then I met a bartender and ended up having a kid, and that's what brought me to Florida.
And was that this is the grumpy, like I said, we weren't going to go too, but that was Grumpy Pants Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Shadow Josh.
Yes.
He saw the before, middle, and after.
Yes. Yes.
He must be so proud of you now.
He is. And
wow. Do you guys still stay in?
Yes.
Is he like I've noticed this because I'm virgin to the tattoo land, but I love them. And like people seem to like, it's like more than a real marriage. Once you have people are like, my guy. Yes. So that's like you would never cheat on him. Have you ever cheated on him?
I have gotten some other little things, and he was not happy about that. But he will be doing, he doesn't know it yet, but he will be doing a tattoo right here to cover up my porch scar.
What are we doing? Are we allowed to talk?
Honestly, I was thinking like a lotus flower because of what it symbolizes. Just one on one side.
Oh, sorry.
Because I have this scar right here and I don't like it. Well, when I see it, I think of chemo. And I don't want to.
Well, you do whatever you feel. So you'll have him. Now, what will happen? You'll go see him up north. Do you still go home? Oh, I'm right in the last. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just there for Christmas.
For the man, I used to travel when I was a kid for family up north is Massachusetts.
That's real up north.
So
that's the real north. Mine's Midwest, but
when you said Hoosiers, is that the college team?
Hoosiers. It's just what they call Indiana people, Hoosiers.
Really? Like all? Why? What is it?
Hoosiers. I don't know.
Is that like
it's like a Duval.
A brand of bread you have? I see.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Is it a place though? Duval's
No, it's not a place.
Hoosiers.
It's not a county.
Say it again.
Hoosiers. H-O-O. Hoosiers.
With a Z?
H-O-S.
S.
Yes.
You have a way of saying it though. I could see I'm in the Indian. I'm like, hey, everybody, is the Hoosiers here? I'm a Hoosier. They're like, that's guy. You don't belong.
So it's funny. I saw the guy who just passed away. He was on Full House.
Oh, Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. I actually saw him perform.
Get out of town.
Before he passed away earlier in the year. But everybody.
Is he from there?
He was in Jacksonville. No, he was just performing. He was doing a stand-up. And he kept on saying, why does everybody keep saying Duval? What's this Duval? Why do you guys keep saying Duval? And everybody was like, Duval. And somebody was like, that's the county we're in. And he like did a whole song about Duval. And I have it.
Did he have a guitar?
Yes.
I heard about his stand-up that he had.
I have it. Like on like,
you should post it.
I will, because it was like he's gone. So
did you? I know it's crazy. I'm sure you heard about like he was like they won't release his autopsy and stuff now.
I heard that he just fell.
Yeah, well,
and hit his head.
It's coming out.
I know he's got a young wife, and he was happy. That's what he said at his stand-up. Yeah. It was literally a few months ago. So
I enjoyed him. He did Rogan not too long ago, and he had his own little show that didn't get as much attention as Rogan, but awesome still. Mm-hmm. And I actually watched him, and I wasn't a fan of him growing up. He was a little bit past our era, but I think his name was Louis Anderson or something, heavier set guy. Long story short, they both died in the same month. So I watched that show because it's just, to me, it's a reminder of my mortality. And I I did like Bob Saget a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man, Full House.
I know a lot of people said some weird things about him, but I'm like,
who doesn't?
what guy doesn't think like that?
You know what I think? I'll tell you
Come
the
on.
truth is, and it's me being. I will admit it. I think people that if you are really this way, bravo. I love you. I'm proud of you. But for those, I'm the biggest baby. Like when I find out someone doesn't like me, I'm like, what? How do I make it? Can you be? I want you to. I don't know why. Like it's not even people that are going to ever do anything for me. It's like, and they're usually the worst humans anyways. And they're like, did you hear that so-and-so said that you suck? And I'm like, really? I should go. Maybe I should throw them a parade. I'll fix this. I will fix this.
I know. I literally have one person that doesn't like me.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, at 30.
Stephanie knows who it is too. I'm just saying.
At 30, I was at that ratio. I'm now kissing the 40.
You got a couple more.
I got like, and I'm going, and I think what it is I'm so, just like anything else, envy's real, right? Like
yes,
I had one friend my whole life and he passed away almost 10 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I learned, right? He was the only human that I still know, and no disrespect to all those people that I do know now, but I'm telling you, he was the only human being that I could call right now and say, bro, I just found $1 million. And he would go, I'm taking you out. Literally. Whether I earned it, found it, whatever,
right.
Doesn't matter. He wouldn't go like, remember when I let you borrow my bike? Like, you need to give me some. There was
a good person.
They were rare.
That's the kind of people that I keep in my life.
Well, listen, they're fleeting. Right. And even at his funeral, and me and my besties did his eulogy, there was 300 plus people. And I don't even know to this day people that get that many unless you're like celebrity status. And he was 20 nothing.
Amazing person.
But he wanted, he didn't need you.
He left a footprint in this
like
world.
A big old Tyrannosaurus
Rex. I love that.
And I'm telling you, people get, now that I'm in this middle age, those that out there, it's always, the haters are real. Mm-hmm. But I'm like I'm so easy to get picked on, and you're going to get easier to get picked on because I can already tell you now, you've passed the age of like, you're not going to get ugly. I promise. You're so beautiful. So you're okay. You've made it. It's like when you're past 70 or 80, you don't get Alzheimer's. You're already not going to be
you're in the clear.
You're not going to be known as the ugly girl. Like, you guys see, man, probably so ugly. Like, no, not her. The other one. So I've now realized that it's just easy to not like things that just people can get ugly and mean. Yes, and I have this other theory, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but since it's my show and I have this little hypothesis right now. Do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I don't.
People that smoke cigarettes, listen, I'm so sorry for them. I'm like, they seem to always be more mad. Yes. I'm serious.
They're irritable. They need a cigarette.
They're so mad. I've noticed anyone out there that's smoking habitually,
or just nicotine,
like real cigarette smokers. I'm not talking drinkers with cigarette smokers,
just nicotine.
Fun cigarettes, but people that are literally smoking them and throwing them on the ground. I've noticed that you're the same people that cut people off. Yeah. You're the same one that talks shit behind people's back and not in front of their face. And you're usually the ones that are like killing the whales. Mm-hmm. Stop. Mm-hmm. And I hate to sound like such an asshole, but
they're always irritable. They're always waiting for the cig.
I saw a handful of them yesterday. And I'm like, look, it's the best science experiment. Right now, if I was in high school or even middle school and they're like, science experiment, like you had to do a science project with the fucking trifold build, I would be like, cigarette smokers.
Let's do it.
They're the meanest. I think, like you said, though, it's clinical. They're just grumpy.
They need it.
So stop smoking, people. If you're going to smoke, but stop being, and stop throwing them outside. They're always throwing, and then they're mad. They're yelling at somebody. They're the real Karens of the world.
When my house was being built, I'm not a cigarette smoker, so of course I see those things if you leave them in my yard, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's a brand new house. Why are you putting your cigarettes on the ground?
I don't know.
So I was walking around picking all these little cigarettes up from the people who were building my house.
You know, it's the my favorite acronym for the common courtesy, CC. Just be CC, bro.
It is. It's golden rule too. Do what you want them to do to you. Like it's a golden rule.
So you're here indefinitely geographically, which makes me like I can like rest a little bit because.
And I planted a seed with my family. They're coming here too.
Yeah, and we'll get to meet Nini squared.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to know that you're not even like you get to go back to the job you love.
Yes, I do.
Which is thrilling.
That's why I mean, my whole life, my grandma owned a salon. So she's always been like the entrepreneur. My mom's an entrepreneur. My cousin, my sister-in-law, they're all like estheticians, cosmetologists. They're all in the field, but they're booth renting. So they own their own salon.
I see what you're saying.
My sister-in-law, Lauren, she got her own place. Just want to say, hey, you're awesome.
Is she an Indiana?
Yes.
Hoosers.
But see, I don't even know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But my whole family is like a lot of entrepreneurs.
Right.
I actually went into a salon, Ulta. It's a corporate salon. So in my situation, it actually turned out to be the best thing possible because I had disability. I had insurance. I had all the benefits that I needed. And I get to go back to doing the same thing. And my clients
So that's where you still are. You're still at the Ulta land?
Mm-hmm. I was at the Palm Coast Ulta for 4 years.
Is that still open?
It is. So I transferred to St. Augustine because my house is closer there.
Right.
Plus, I love St. Augustine. I mean,
it's St. Augustine.
It's the hippie nation.
I miss my Bombay.
I know. She is there more.
You know, don't get mad at me, peoples, but Bombay is like one of none that I go and like I leave the island for.
And he did just what?
I know.
A week ago, 2 weeks?
I love her so much.
She's my sister.
She's one of the closest things to his name was Matthew Robinson. Her exercising of character. She's one of the only people I know that wants doesn't need. No expectations, no obligations, no guilt, no conditional love. You want to know another thing that happens as you get older is I'm going to tell you something right now, not only for myself. I got rid of mine a long, long time ago, but it's very hard to do. And it's just like high fructose corn syrup. Get it out of your system.
And don't look back ever.
As best you can. There's every once in a while I'll have a little bit. This one's natural, but every once in a while I eat, I play, I know, I get it. But listen, conditional love, go fuck yourself.
It's absolutely.
You got a problem with somebody, tell them and listen. And the minute you need, I get to right now, if today were my last day, thank God, I don't owe anyone anything.
Yes.
And those out there that think I do, you didn't check, you didn't read the memo. I got here not because of anyone, not because of anything.
Your own efforts.
But by the support there, but when it wasn't there, I didn't guilt you.
Right.
I didn't say, where are you?
Yes.
I had the ringing in the ears.
I am very similar to that, as in I don't expect anything when I do something for somebody, ever.
It's hard to do that.
My mom raised me that way.
It's hard.
I have family members who are like that. They expect
we all have it, and we're all guilty of it at some point in our life.
Yeah.
But to rid yourself of it is really, and look, I speak on the behalf of this coming from one, so I'm being biased, but the Italian culture, oof.
My new boyfriend's Italian.
I know.
Yes,
I like him.
And he does this.
When he pulled out that Tar car. I love when we were nerdy. We all nerded out for a minute because I love dialogue, as you can tell.
Yes.
And I remember I don't like to be like, so what do you do for a living? I was like, video games. And literally your man and Babe's man were like, like we literally moved you guys out of the way. We're like, move.
That's what she said too. It was like it was like 3 conversations became one.
And it was beautiful because it wasn't even as generic as video games. It was Zelda.
Yes.
And Zelda's a religion for us nerd heads. And it was so funny because we all came to the table with my Zelda is this one.
He's great.
And we were just from that point forward, it was like already
just grew.
We'd fight someone for each other. We're like, bro, that's my Zelda friend. Like, don't. Okay, stop. Like, how long have you known him? 12 minutes. This is my Zelda friend. And I fell in love with that. And he's what now? Can we talk about him for just a minute or 17?
Yeah.
He supposedly, because I did my own research. Because of course I'm your fake boyfriend. Hello.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, Babe tells me you got a boy. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait.
My mom did some research too.
This is my fake girlfriend. I met her first. And I want to know. And of course, I don't ask the questions of like, is he rich? Is he poor? Does he have a big dick or small dick? Right. I want to know
the person.
Like, does he like Zelda? So Babe tells me that he was part of your healing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, you guys meet and he was kind of by your side figuratively and literally during which I would assume most men in this era of get it would not be like, hi, I'm single. Hello, I'm single. Hi, I'm dying of cancer. Like, okay, come on down. You know, I'm joking too. Like,
no, that's how I felt too.
Like,
so
come on with me. I don't know a lot of men. And you guys are, once again, you're young in the grand scheme of things. It's not like you're 80 at the geriatric center. Like, let's just do it.
Seriously.
That was beautiful.
It was. That's what I think made the attraction even bigger, because when I met him, I didn't tell him. Because at first I didn't want to be like,
I don't blame you.
And then here's a pity party. I got this terrible
You don't want to
disease.
be identified as that.
I didn't. I wanted to be just on a normal date and go with it. But I met him on Tinder. We went and had our first date. Everything's online. So I figured he could look up my Facebook and see what was going on, but I didn't. You
want to almost see how much you really.
Let's just see where it's going first, and then we'll get to that stuff if it happens. But so he actually had done some research and knew everything. But he didn't bring it up to me. He didn't say anything to me about what I was going through until I brought it up to him. I could actually feel myself like withdrawing, pulling myself away. Like, I'm not going to talk to him because I know the inevitable is coming. I have to tell him I'm going through this, and it's pretty much forever long, whatever. But I could tell that I really liked him. I could feel myself pulling away. So I finally was just like, I have to come clean. I have to tell you something. And he was like, oh no, what is it? And I said, well, I'm going through active chemo treatment. I have breast cancer stage 3, blah, 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 blah. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of, he already knew, he already saw that. And he was surprised that I didn't tell him on our first date. And I obviously told him why. And then he was there through my double mastectomy. He's been there. Like, I literally met him on a Friday. I had my chemotherapy Friday morning and met him Friday night at a really cool place in Palatka, of all places, brewery.
Palatka.
Yeah, Palatka. But he's been really, like, he hasn't even been like what he's seen, like what he's looked at. He just sees me. He doesn't see cancer. It's not who
you are.
Yeah, and I really like that he sees me as a normal person.
Man too.
Yes, he is.
I didn't know he was Italian, by the way.
I love that about him.
But he is.
Di Michelli.
I know. I remember when I didn't know it until that night, but I was like, okay, keep him around because I'm biased. We're okay.
But my family sees the smile that he puts on my face, and I like that.
It's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad. And I think, it's a cliche statement, but nobody wants to die alone.
Right,
and it feels good to be loved, and it feels good to be well pursued and wanted. And your backup plan is always having a fake boyfriend anyways. Chapeau, ma. I'm still thrilled that I got to. You knew Babe when I met you? Is that okay? I still want to be. I wish I was first.
100%.
Gosh, Babe.
That's why I was there.
Trying to beat me.
But I know Wednesdays are your days.
It must have been a Wednesday when I met you.
It was. I know it was.
So funny.
Because that was my only day off at the salon.
Who would have thought?
It was a Wednesday.
I love them though. They're dead. No one's at. Well, now everything. There's no such thing as slow anymore in Flagler. It's always busy. But yeah, you were just so by your lonesome. But I'm glad that you have your little crushy crush.
Yeah, me too.
Literally everyone that will listen at some point, they're like, forget it. I thought she was single.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
And he lives in the.
He was born and raised St. Augustine.
Oh yeah, he did tell me that.
He's an aircraft mechanic.
It was funny because when we were talking, OGs were the people that live where they grew up. They almost don't want to talk about it. Like when I meet people now, they're like, yeah, and I'm not a Flagler Beach boy. I was basically raised in Palm Coast. Okay. So I can't to an OG Flagler Beach. If I'm like, yo, Flagler Beach is my home, they're like, excuse me, sir. Now those OGs are fleeting too. Right. They will remind me real quick that I'm a decade-ish of Flagler Beach.
Yes.
Even though I'm a homeowner in the Flagler Beach sand, they don't. They're like, no. You didn't scrape your knee in this street. You did it on that one. But when I met your crushy, he was like, I grew up here in this. I'm like, dude, me too. So it's funny though. As you can imagine, St. Augustine's always been that novelty effect for us as Palm Coastians. We would go there, and I've got one of my quiet places is St. Augustine with my grandparents and walking around, and there's photos of us, and there's one spot. Do you know where they park the horses?
Yeah. By the water.
Yeah. Right in front of what now is probably changed a million times. It's not the Hilton, but there's another hotel there that's not the same hotel anymore, like structurally, but it's the same place. That's like I can go there.
You have a memory from there.
God, I still do this mini pen.
I love that.
So I still love, I brought my first date to St. Augustine.
I love St. Augustine. That's why I am here. It just the energy. It's not even like what they have there. It's the people who are there that are all feeling there's just good people there. Like I've met people walking the streets that are literally born and raised they will say, yeah, that's actually the house I was born in.
It's crazy.
And the mom, the grandparents, the kids, they're all walking on the street and they're all from there.
A lot
they
of
love
history.
It. Yeah.
And I love it because there seems to be not a lot of people are like, fuck this town. It's not,
No.
I had a little bit of that more inland because it was a little bit more ticky-tacky and not cultured yet. But now it's just as warming. I was actually able to I still go to my old home in the F section. And I grew by there pretty often. And one day went by there not too long ago. And there was an elderly couple that had seemed to be newer owners of it. And I stopped and I was.
You talked to him?
Oh, girl. Not only did I talk to him, I got out of my car and I'm like, excuse me. And I'm thinking in this day and age, I'm either getting shot, spreading COVID, or I'm going to, like, I'm killing you. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. And I would not have thought a million years that he would be as loving and welcoming. And this was like 6+ months ago when like COVID's really, and he goes, come on. And I go, sir, I'm not even kidding you. I was like a little boy, like going to Willy Wonka land. I was like, sir, can I just, don't mind me. Because I'm thinking I'm never going to have this opportunity again. Long story short, husband and wife, very elderly, but they let me go through my whole house, which wasn't big. It was a small little home.
It doesn't matter.
And I had to go. I was like, oh my God. And you don't realize how big you are and get. You're like, oh my God, this wasn't that big. Like the porch, I can but being able to walk around and being able to do it, it's not, I don't have to go.
Yeah,
but
reminiscing.
You must feel that when you go home to Hoserland. Where in Indiana for those that?
So it's called Greenfield.
Okay.
It's super country, cornfields everywhere.
That's like the
soybean fields and cornfields.
What would you do for fun growing up? Like what was?
So some cornfield parties. We would have a party out. We'd have a bonfire is what it would always be. There would be some people in their tractor or their sports car out in the field doing donuts. Of
course.
Yeah, just country shit.
When what lunch table did you sit at growing up?
So I was friends with everybody, but I did sit with the cheerleaders. I did.
Were you like bougie cheerleader or cool cheerleader?
I was the cool cheerleader.
Okay.
And I know this because my brother was a year older than me.
Okay.
He was friends with all of these boys at the time.
These big men.
These boys that were in a band. They called it Mercury. So he was friends with all of them.
What was the genre of music? Were we ska then?
Like rock.
Rock.
Like a Beatles type of rock. So
like
old school rock.
Cool.
Yes. And I remember I went to go hang out with my brother and those friends one time. And they told him like, oh, we don't want to hang out with her. She's snobby. She hangs out with these people. And he told me, and I was like, I'm hanging out with them. I'm going to show them. So I hung out with them. And I remember Jordan Burnside specifically said, you're not as bad as I thought you were. Because I was friends with all the cheerleaders. Right. They thought I was a bitch. And I'm obviously not. So that's the table I sat at, was the cheerleader table. But then everybody knew like I was a nice person.
I'll tell you mine before I have asked yours because I misbehaved a lot. Now, once again, I was a drinking, smoking weed kid. Right. We weren't, the crew that I chilled with really didn't do anything hard. But I would say we were a cul-de-sac drinking natty ice until it came out of our eyeballs.
That and then playing Guitar Hero.
That's see, you grew up a decade younger than me. We didn't have that shit.
So I definitely.
When do you start misbehaving?
You're really honest.
You're like, I was 9 years old.
I was like 14.
That's kind of like.
All right, I was 14.
When the sleeping out stage, like you're going to sleep at friends.
14.
Were you the cool parents or you strict parents?
I had both. My parents were divorced.
Okay.
My mom was the cool parent who let me do what I want. My dad was like, oh, you left the milk out. You're grounded for like 4 weeks.
All right.
I'm like, really?
Did you get to choose where you
lived in both? So I went back and forth.
Okay.
Times. So my mom's house, I don't know if she wants me to say, but she's married to a man that's significantly younger than her. But they've been married like a long time.
Get it, mama.
So it's like a real relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But she's married to a man that's younger than her. So she was a little more forgiving when it came to having fun when you're in high school. So long story short, I actually almost didn't graduate because of tardies. My grades were fantastic. It was because I had good grades. It was just not attending. I wasn't attending.
You were just not getting there on time.
Yes. So they had an expulsion hearing, which means they had all the teachers and the principals sit
an
with
intervention
me at a table, and they're like, "Listen, if you miss another day of school, you're not walking with your class." And I looked at my dad, and I was like, I'm not missing any more days of school. I can't handle that embarrassment.
That
I will be there every day
yeah.
early, and then I'll stay late.
Yeah.
Okay. I did it. I finished the whole year, and I actually got to graduate with my class, but it was close.
We have a similar story.
It was close.
I didn't have good grades. Had the intervention. I remember it was like almost being, you didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell any of my friends.
Right.
Because I had a
didn't
diversified group of friends, but the ones that picked on me the most were the smart. I hung out with some of all the kids were going to fancy acronym schools.
Right.
And I'm like,
me too.
So I used to just kind of be like, I'm kind of looking at them too. I'm looking there too. Maybe going to go there too. And little did anyone know at the time that I'll never forget. It's still in my head. I'm leaving FPC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a right. And I'm not driving. I didn't have a car. I was with my friend. I had just left the guidance counselor and I'm skipping the last 2 classes.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving and I'm like, you're ruining your life. And I'm making a right. And I remember passing what now would be Target, but there was woods. And I was looking off into the woods. And I remember thinking, God, if you are real, tell me now, whisper something or do something to let me know if I'm going to pass high school. Like if I see a bird fly right now, I'll know. Like I was like, I'll never ask you for anything else in life that I need to know.
Just give me a sign.
Just give me a sign. And I remember being like, of course I got no sign. And I'm like, I'm not going to pass high school. And I remember being so embarrassed.
That's all it was for me.
So, me too. That's all it was driven by.
Yeah.
I didn't even care about the school. I just remember I had to take summer school my junior year.
Me too.
And I didn't tell anyone except I remember getting to summer school the first that year, and I didn't have a car. Whole high school, all my friends did. And I go to summer school, which was in the cubicles too. They didn't even let you in the school. And I didn't even know what a cubicle really was until like that era. And I'm like going in this cubicle and it's hot and it's stuffy and it's summer. And I remember looking in the class and I'm like, oh God, we're in this together. I'm like, you're here too?
All summer long.
Yes. And I had to make up credits. And I know I'm preaching the choir to you, but like, holy bananas, was that fucking horrible.
I had to do it for 2 summers.
You had 2 summers?
Yep.
I only had 1.
My sophomore and junior summer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, think about it too. Isn't it crazy that summers, though they were short, they still lasted kind of.
They seemed forever long.
Forever.
Yeah.
But they were short.
Yeah.
But they were still like, oh my God, I could build a pyramid. It's summer. I have plenty of time. And now you look back on it now and it's
like 7 weeks.
I think all jobs, no matter what, if I were to run my own little commune, all jobs would have summer off.
They would come back like ecstatic, ready to work.
We do it for 15, 16 years of our life. That's more. Why don't we keep it going? And no matter what the profession is, unless you're in, unfortunately, the medical field. Just summer. Like no one do anything. We just chill. But no, it's so funny that you have that's some serious torment. And
yes.
That's some stress.
I was scared. I was embarrassed.
Now, did you tell anybody?
No. Me neither. I kept it a secret. Like I didn't tell them about the we were at this long oval table, had all the teachers and principals and then my dad. I lived with my mom at the time. I had to have my dad come because my mom was like, I
was like, when you're done, come on over.
Yeah, let me know when you're done.
I love your mom already. I'll tell. I had a. Did you ever get in trouble as a kid, like with like the law or anything?
One time. No, not with the law. It was okay. So it was MySpace time. I had at a house party, and I
mom house or papa house?
Mom house, and we actually were eating suckers. Like it was legit suckers. It was really suckers in the pictures. We had posted.
You talking about lollipops?
Lollipops, like a little white stick out of your mouth. And then like in the background, you could see like the little red Solo cups. You'd see like a half-gallon of plastic.
What are we? Junior, sophomore?
Okay. Some bad vodka.
I love it.
In the background. But we would be holding the Solo cup and then have the sucker in your mouth. But we all got called down to the principals one after one after one after one. And they were interrogating us like, what's in your mouth? It doesn't look like a sucker stick.
What did they think it was?
Joint. Everybody thought it was a joint. But I was the only one.
Of course.
Who denied, and who did not get in trouble. And then all of my friends, like one person got kicked off the cheerleading team. One person couldn't drive to school. Like I was like, denied.
Was this a private school or just?
No, it was public school. One of the parents called in and was like, I see people partying underage. I know whose mom it was. I know who it was.
We know
I'm not
who
going to
you
say,
are.
but I know who it was.
Karen.
Yes, she is. Yes. But that was when I got in trouble. I never got in trouble with the law underage. I've only been in trouble of age one time because I'm a good girl.
Okay. I don't know why, but I had a friend and of course it was his fault, but it was my fault too. We were in Palm Coast riding bicycles. I was in 6th grade and he was like my first bad friend. You know, like the friend where your parents like, do not hang out with him. You're like, he's the best one ever.
Yes.
And we were riding around and we went into Bell's. Bell's used to be where basically, I don't know. You know where is it? Canteen? No, what's that brew pint? I don't know. Palm Coast has changed so much. It's where the old G Publix used to be in the library and all that. There used to be a Bell's there.
Okay.
And we walk in. Do you remember Gotcha brand?
No, I don't.
Gotcha. I'm older. See, you have a
I
different.
Don't.
Back in my day, we had
7-year difference.
There was a brand of clothing called Gotcha.
Okay.
And corduroy was big. Remember that? Like corduroy was like.
It's becoming big again.
I know. I wish I had what I had.
Some corduroy like skirts and stuff.
And we're walking around, and he was a little thief. And you know, it's funny back then. Yeah, and it's so funny because back then I only stole once, but to show you how stupid we were, we didn't even buy anything. We're just walking around, and you walk out like hello, and we're little kids that probably were white as ghosts because I was not a professional thief. So we're walking around, and he's landing some good shit. I'm like, man. And it's just like clothing and things like that. And he'd never done this before, but he had told me about it. He's like, I go in and you go. And this is before he's not reselling this. This is shit he wants. And I'm like, man, what do I want? What do I want?
Pack of gum.
I can't believe you just said that. I stole a pack of gum and a gotcha wallet. And I'll never forget, it was a trifold Velcro. And it was purple, and my bike was purple.
Of course you remember it.
I had a Dyno GT Air, purple with black mags. I was like, this matches my wallet. I mean, my bike, this is my wallet.
Top that.
And it had an embroidered, in like Gotcha's insignia. And I'm like, this is mine.
This is bad.
Put it in my pocket. And I was like, we're out of here. Go to the front. Cops.
They're just waiting. Oh, no.
And God bless those cops because they changed my life. I thought I was going to get the life sentence of they
made an impact.
Death penalty. They put us literally against the wall, like not slamming. Not
they scared you. They made an impact.
And I remember being like, I hate you, Jordan. I don't want to say his name. I hate you so much. Like I was so mad. But I remember like we were keeping her. Of course, we're like for the first. I will be the first to admit, and I say this to any man in uniform to this day, if I'm in trouble, I spill. Yeah. I'm the furthest thing from an Italian when it comes to trouble because I don't want to deal with it. Right. Like, I'm not going to rat on somebody, but me. Like, if I'm doing something wrong, like I've been pulled over once with alcohol, and it was on a golf cart. And the guy's like, are you drunk? I'm like, 100%. Like
Flagler Beach, of 100% course, on the golf cart.
Not lying to you because I know I must. It was one of those days. It was a Wednesday too, and I get pulled over, and I knew there was no getting. If I lied, I'm gonna get tased.
He's like, today's Wednesday. Are you sure?
I know everyone knows too. So I'm like, he's like, and it was cold, so the what's it called? The golf cart had like the thingies on the side, like the little. It wasn't even my golf cart. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm drunk." Going home. And God bless, they followed me. I was literally like 4 houses away.
I think that's how they are most of the time when you're very like straight. Honest. Like, I'm not wasting time. This is what happened, and I'm here right now.
But I got out of I didn't get in trouble even for the stealing thing.
Yes.
So that's my crime history.
So yeah.
I'm bad to the bone, bro.
You're bad.
I'm pretty bad. I mean, those that are listening are probably like, this guy is fierce.
I've only been in trouble one time, and it was enough to scare.
You want to talk about?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was 22 years old. I was at a Backstreet Boys concert in Indiana. So before the concert, I pre-game, took some shots of some vodka. Went to the concert, started at like 7:00 at night. I actually lived right across from the concert venue. My apartment, like I could
Mom
see
or dad?
everything, just my own apartment.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Girl, you had your own apartment too?
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Yes.
I'm proud of you.
So had like a little pregame party, and then we would walk across the street and go to the concert venue. It was an outdoor venue, just like St. Augustine Amphitheater. Yeah. It's just like that, but it's in Indiana. It's called I don't know the name of it. Anyway, I could see across. So I'd have a party there at my house, walk across the street, enjoy the Backstreet Boys, because of course it's Backstreet Boys.
Come on, yeah.
Walk. I had 1 glass of wine at the concert.
Okay. Wine at 22?
Wine.
What are you?
I am classy.
What is this? I own 17 condos
and it was
I
red
have wine.
Robert Mondolfi. Like Olive Garden special.
Okay.
So have a glass of wine, come home, and everybody's like, hey, we should go to that country bar where you do like the line stepping.
Okay.
What was it called? Saddle Up. So we're like,
Here
let's go to Saddle Up. 1 glass of wine. I didn't think I was strong. My car had a headlight out. I was driving a Padiddle. Padiddle. Fucking Padiddle. Mustang. Padiddle. Driving my car, have a headlight out. Cop gets behind me. Whoop, whoop. Bears and cherries. Pulls me over. Hi, you have a headlight out? Yes, I do. You been drinking tonight? Yes, I did. I was at the Backstreet Boys concert. I had a glass of wine. He's like, all right, do you mind stepping out and do a field sobriety test for me? I did it. Passed it. It was great. And then he had me do the breathalyzer, and I was 0.08.
What's the legal limit?
0.08. That is the legal limit. I blew the legal limit. Still got in trouble. Don't know how, but I still got in trouble. He put me in the front seat. I had like a belly shirt on. I had booty shorts on. I was at the Backstreet Boys concert. He put me in the front seat of his car and arrested me. Then I got a DUI. So, but the way they treated me at like when they actually booked me and put me in the drunk tank, I didn't actually go anywhere besides the drunk tank.
Right.
But the way they were treating me, I remember saying, I was tipsy, obviously, but I remember saying, I am a lady. You don't treat us like this. And he said, just big a man, he was like, you're not a lady in here. And that was it. That's like all I remember him telling me. I was not a lady. I remember I had to like this tiny little box. I had to put my hand through it to grab the phone, pull the phone back in, and then put my other hand out and then dial the number. And then depending on how you move the cord, the phone may or may not work. Of course. Yeah. So just the way they treated me, like I was a piece of trash.
And you were 22.
It was enough to scare me. I will never get in trouble again. I will never get in trouble again.
Actually, you'll never catch me again.
You'll never catch me again. This is true.
Man,
ever.
I can't imagine. I've never. That's one thing I'll tell you. I am guilty as charged growing up here and not having anything to do or anywhere to go. And not that that's an excuse, but those that grew up in this area, we all know we are guilty as shit of all driving drunk as shit.
Yes.
And I to this day, I don't know how.
I wasn't even drunk though.
Well, I know, but it's still like
you can still do something bad.
You were going to get drunk.
Yes.
Bingo, bango.
I was.
So it probably saved your life.
It did. I didn't make it, but it did.
There was a, do you know the Conch House?
Yes.
Okay. Well, growing up here with the Conch House.
That's a fun place.
A lot of babies were made at the Conch House.
I believe it.
None of them were mine.
It smells so gross when you
and
walk
you
out.
Don't even know. This was Conch House like 1.0, and we would as like 20, not like 21s going to the Conch House.
Yeah. That's fun. The atmosphere is
Jeez.
Nice.
We would drive down there growing up, I bet this part you can. Growing up, we didn't have these things. I don't know why they took so long to invent these. I don't know. They had apparatuses to put liquids in, but they didn't have these cool things. Think about it. I don't know what took so long. What were you guys doing out there? You couldn't have made this.
What are you doing?
You couldn't. So I remember my buddy and I would somehow, some way I had these alligator farm cups. And because it was the alligator farm, it was a novel cup the size of like
an alligator.
This table. Yeah. And we had these cups. And of course, there was no protector or straw. And we would back then. What was your drink of choice when you started being able to pick your drink?
Sex on the Beach.
Really? Mm-hmm. Are those that's at the? Oh wait, Sex on the Beach, is that where everything's liquor?
No, it's got like cranberry juice.
What's the one that it's everything's liquor?
Long Island. Yes.
My buddy drank those. I couldn't. I don't.
Yeah, Strong Island. That's what I call them.
So what's the Sex on the Beach? Like, what's the
It's
concoction?
I just know it has some kind of pineapple schnapps in it.
But that was your
Yeah,
but
easy.
you weren't drinking. You were drinking that at like 21 in a car?
Not in a car.
That's what I'm saying.
In a car, I would probably do
like you're
plastic.
What are you buying a handle of?
Vodka.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was like a Jack guy.
Oh no,
I
vodka.
know.
Mine was vodka.
It was something too about that bottle. They made it so manly. The big Jack bottle. Yeah. Well, there was no handle actually. It was just a
Jim Beam or
no,
like a Jack Daniels?
Jimmy and Beamy, man.
No.
It tastes like plastic to me.
I went to a couple distilleries in Kentucky.
With Mr. Jimmy Beam?
For Maker's Mark, Jim Beam.
Maker's Mark is incredible.
I got to try like a cinnamon. It was like some kind of cinnamon. Jim Beam. I remember it was brand new.
I have a very dear friend of mine right now who I love very much. And all they drink, or their favorite,
cinnamon.
No watch, is the Fireball. And I love it because I think it's adorable.
It's effective, but
it's very effective. But if I'm out sipping, I sip. I'm not a shooter guy, but they sip on it. And when they're ordering it and the people serve it, I think they're bewildered. They're like, you're sipping you're sipping.
It's effective.
And it is, I just love it. But yeah, I don't, what's your.
As a sipper, I'll do.
What are you sipping?
Have you ever heard of the Patron XO Cafe? The coffee.
Can't play
Patron?
with
it. It doesn't taste like tequila.
Does it make you poop?
I think they all
it's got
do.
coffee. No, the normal Patron.
So the day after, I always feel like I have to poop.
Well, yeah, a day after drinking.
Dads.
But duh.
Okay, well,
no, I'm talking about
the day of.
Like,
no,
I've already had my coffee for the day. If I had, like, for instance, right, this is an adulting thing. It probably hasn't happened to you yet.
Yeah, it hasn't yet.
Poop runs an adult. I have this talk with a lot of young people that they're like, I can't wait to travel. And I'm like, listen, it's your poop schedule you really need to focus on. Ask any jet setter that travels. All they care about is bathroom.
We call it the day after. Dads.
What does that acronym say?
Day after drinking shits. The dads.
I didn't
Do you
know.
have the dads?
I heard you throw that in there. I was like, what's that? You got dads? You dating dads, bro? The dads. Yeah, that's a normal.
Yeah.
But you're home.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Can you drink a coffee at 5?
Depends if I'm like gonna be up all night. If I'm gonna be up till like 2, yeah.
Yeah, but does it matter if you're up all night? What if we're on our first date?
I'll go to the bathroom and I'm done.
You can just do that?
Yeah. I'm used
You're
to
a remote pooper?
I'm a stylist. I am a hairstylist. We live off of caffeine.
If there's one trait that I envy in a human, it's the remote pooping.
Being able to poop on the go.
That I lost that when in my 20s. I am envious. If you can poop anywhere.
Have you ever had a time that you really had to go and you weren't at home?
Oh, I have the best story.
Where'd you go?
Don't even. It's the worst.
I want to know.
I'm on my way to school. I did go to college, but it was, we called it 13th grade out here, and I'm not diminishing the value of Daytona State. It was DBCC back then.
Cool.
But growing up here, you got picked on for going to DBCC.
Yeah.
Now, I did not come from a wealthy family, so when I did graduate high school some way, somehow, I was informed that, hey, listen, you can go to school for free, basically. And I was like, well, this is pretty stupid if I don't.
Right.
I started working when I was 14.
That's amazing.
So I remember thinking financially, I'm like, even though I detested it, I was like, being that I'm doing it now, I still barely passed, but I went.
So you did it.
So I'm on my way to school with my best friend, who I still talk to daily.
Love that.
And we're on motorcycles. And I had thought I had already, I was good in the clear. Okay.
Already went to the bathroom. We're good to go.
Good. And I'm on my way and we're kissing. We just got off 95 and we're taking back roads near where the hospital is on to get to DBCC. And that it hits. You know when it hits.
The gurgles.
And I've got less than probably minutes to spare. My buddy's gone. Because we're and I don't have time to wave him when
you're
you're
by yourself.
And I'm 37. I'm 19 then. So there's no like, listen, buddy, I'm going to be pulling over and taking a shit real quick. Like there's no communication. He's gone. And I could see him like, I'm like, I'm out. It's probably 8:57. All the parking lots are filling up with the morning employees. And there's a building. And I have seconds to spare. I park, drop my fucking drawers. I'm wearing jeans. And I explosively shit on the side of a building. And thank God back then, whenever I would ride my motorcycle, I would always bring a spare shirt, because you don't realize you reek whenever you're riding a motorcycle and you go inside somewhere, you smell like exhaust. So I didn't want to smell like exhaust for like a full day. So I would always bring a shirt. So I am accepting the fact that everyone within a eye's vicinity of me is seeing a little kid at this point shitting his fucking brains out on the side of a building, hitting concrete too. This isn't like pleasant in the grass, like
splashing.
And I'm literally, I can feel there's people like looking, and I'm like, it's happening. This is my time.
Don't care.
To this day, I know spoke about one day I was at work and I threw up. This guy, shit. And I'm worried about the app. So I was actually, I got to tell you though, you would have thought I was a professional shitter on the side of a building, because I came out unscathed. Because I thought of course I felt like I had shit in my hair, because I was like, but the shirt that I had brought was my refuge. And in all due respect to this building to this day, I am so sorry. And I left the shirt, but I get to school. Oh, fuck yeah. What am I going to do with it? I'm like, thank God I had that shirt, because if I had a shit without having cleanup, but of course I got to school. I'm late to class now.
My cheeks hurt.
And I go in the bathroom and I basically shower.
Yeah.
As I'm so OCD, and I'm like, I still feel like I have shit on me. And I walked into class and Jimmy was looking, he's like, and I'm like, so I tell him afterwards, and he was laughing just as hard. Yeah. And still to this day, he remembers it.
Eyes watering, cheeks hurt.
Did you have one of these? I hope you haven't.
Not like that.
Okay. No. Where you're like, what did you got to share yours now though? Please
Mine's
don't.
Not as epic as that.
You don't want my epic. Trust me.
Okay, so driving down the 95, I wasn't living here yet, just kind of like driving around, see where we want to camp out for the night, just vacationing, just very.
We're not living here yet?
No, not living here yet. We were thinking about living here, but
give me an age stamp.
27.
Okay.
26.
We'll like yesterday.
26.
Last
26,
year.
4 years ago. Uh-huh. But we were driving down the A1A or 95, one of the two. No, it was A1A. It had to have been A1A. Okay. Had to go to the bathroom. There was nowhere to go. So I went in the ocean.
That's beautiful.
Because you had something to rinse off too afterwards.
Of course,
right?
Your story's like, and then a mermaid came and wiped my ass. Of course, you got the shit in the ocean?
In the ocean.
I've never
on the side of the road when no one's around.
Was it nighttime or
daytime?
I'm so jealous.
I was so embarrassed because my family is there. My mom, her husband, my son.
Were people aware of what you were doing?
I don't think so.
Or was this a surprise swim? You're like, I'm going to swim.
Right. If somebody would have, they would have known if they saw me out there, because nobody was there.
How did, you're cruising and you just go, I think I'm going to do a dip.
Yeah.
Are you a dipper?
No.
So this was a little like, wait, you're just going to dip?
I was like, I got to shit. Let's go. And I still get called out about that to this day, actually.
Shitting in the ocean requires some, were you moving? How did you didn't stay static.
No, you have to keep walking.
Got it. Oh, you weren't float shitting.
The water has to be.
So you're walking.
Your waist, and you have to bend down and walk.
I love it. For those that ever want to, this is a professional shitting in the ocean story.
It's clean. It's clean.
It is clean. I'm jealous.
Napkins or paper towels.
Or a shirt.
Or a shirt.
I wiped my ass with a Bob Ross shirt too, and I love that shirt.
No.
Gosh. So you got the shit in the ocean. I've never have.
I was just scared that a fish was just going to swim up and.
Now that we're talking about ocean and what we have done in the ocean, I'll be this is pardon people, but this is the show.
Sorry.
I've masturbated in the ocean. If you haven't done that, people, I would highly recommend it.
I have not done that.
Try that one. For those who listen, sorry. Welcome to the show. But there's something special. So you can do anything out there.
You can't. Nobody will ever know.
No one will ever know. I'm not talking about at the 2nd Street North Flagler.
How would they know?
Well, I mean, I guess they wouldn't maybe.
How would they know?
But that'd be weird.
It's like
do it on your own. Go far away
How
from people. Do your own thing. But no, yeah, I'm jealous that you pooped in the ocean. I almost want to do it today.
It was not just poop though. It was
your whole body cavity came out.
It was also like an ocean.
People that are like, if they just tuned in, like, what the fuck?
Everyone poops.
Thought she did hair. Thought she was a hairdresser.
Thought we were talking about cancer. No.
She's shitting in the ocean. This guy's
That's a whole other conversation about chemo and you have to poop. So
I can't imagine, actually.
There.
My buddy told me, like, my heart goes out to the whole, your body, what you guys have to go through.
So I was actually a really weird weird situation because I was constipated. I could not go to the bathroom. Everybody usually is the opposite.
Right.
I couldn't go to the bathroom. So it was terrible. There's a thing called chemo tummy. And it's like when you get backed up and you can't, like your stomach's just huge and I can't wait to be a butterfly.
When you're there, but I know inside it's still working on.
Yes,
but wow, yeah, you do. My buddy is very not forthcoming with his wobegons because he's so strong. But when he does let a little out, I'm like, dude, I couldn't even. My toe hurts, and I'm like, I'm staying in. Like, you guys have to suffer through so much pain and still go through. And once again, it's making you
stronger in the long run. I mean, it really is.
It's so beautiful though, because when you meet somebody, another thing about adulting is like you meet somebody and or even people that I've heard talk about watching some of the show and stuff, and they're like, must be nice. I'm like, brother, I haven't been this way.
Right.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Growth.
I worked 4 jobs until I was like 20 something. Like, you people, and those are the haters out there, like, so you just sit around all day and do podcasts. I'm like, no, man.
That's not how it works.
No. And it's this weird misconception. Like, for instance, if I were to meet you and I wanted to be a hater, pants on fire, I'd be like, must be nice, butterfly. You love your job. I hate mine. It's like, well, I bet you haven't always been this way. It takes a tremendous amount of that ringing inside the ears and spending a lot of time on yourself.
I have some people that don't like there's negative Nancy's everywhere. I am the type of person that tries to, I don't know, I'm not an entertainer. I mean, a little bit. I'm an extrovert. Like, I like everybody to be in a happy mood or in just a happy,
you're benevolent with your time.
Energy. Yeah. I want intentions. Everything has an intention. There's a reason.
You're aware of your surroundings though.
Yes.
I haven't gotten to hang out with you that much yet. And when we're in social settings, you have your peripherals working hard. It's interesting.
I'm a woman. Women are intuitive as it is. But,
yeah, but you're not a Karen.
Right. Right.
Difference.
Yes. I really believe in energies because you can feel them when you walk in the door. Like, nobody has to even say a word, but you can feel what kind of tension is in the air. I can. But
did you feel the love today?
Yes.
One of the most amazing things that I have when I do a show is anyone I've had all the way up to Sheriff Staley, all the way down to 9-year-old, when they leave, they're like, I don't want to go.
Right. I feel so happy.
I'm like, thank you.
It's a happy place.
Because it's not because I have a $1 zillion mansion and there's somebody rubbing your feet into the
there's the environment that we've brought.
It's interesting. And I think what it's once again, it's this. I was telling somebody this yesterday as a younger guy who's getting involved in his own contracting realm. And he's a little bit worried because there's a lot of people in this particular realm that he's in. And he's like, oh no, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And like, I don't know if I should change. Cause like they look at what the world does. Like, there's all these, I hate anything, not people. I hate anything that has a term or a reference, like the social economics of like how many, like how many people there potentially is to have work with. Okay. Like there's 17,000 people here right now. So there's an opportunity. I hate all that.
Yes.
Like, cause it's just nah. So I, to this day, I mean this sincerely, I still to this day don't even know what I yield yearly. I still to this day don't even know how many customers I have. I don't focus on any of it. It's somewhere for the man, but I don't focus on it because it would freak me out. Because if I have 1% less than I did last year, I would freak out. I'd be like, oh my God, my third quarter or my second quarter.
Cause unnecessary stress.
Shaboom. And I could tell you what keeps me in business is me. People really do like working with people.
Like you. Yes.
No, not just me, but like, you are in an industry where there's a gazillions of you. There's somebody out there right now that will go, she's charging that much. I will do it for nothing.
I know.
and they think they're going to rob you of that customer. Well, the irony is
like
this:
all day long you can have
the
those
people don't
customers.
realize like they're not working with you just because
the price.
It's you.
Yes.
It's what you are. So I told this particular dude, and that doesn't apply to everyone. That doesn't apply to the multi-billion-dollar conglomerates, but it actually trickles down if the culture's there.
Yes.
Why do people fly JetBlue?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Right.
Because believe it or not, I know the guys that are running those companies.
Mm-hmm.
They are that way.
Mm-hmm.
They're chill as fuck.
It's
they have why is spirit.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not even using the analogy of the correlation between airlines. It's all things.
It's the like the owner of the school that I went to, her name was Courtney Mitchell, one of the biggest role models that I actually look up to this day. And she, in my industry particularly, she said it's not about what they got done, but it's about the experience when they were getting it done. How did they feel when they were getting it done? So she was always really big about, you have 10 stylists, but why would they go to you?
Yep.
So you got to make that experience.
But then again, there's a caveat when I will accept the fact that for instance, Apple pays hand over foot for their packaging. They're okay with it. And to this day, there are people in their R&D department that are saying, we don't need to spend that much. But then there's the other folk that are going, no. The experience starts after the saran wrap comes off.
It does.
And you'll even notice it wasn't that way when they even first started. The saran wrap did require a fork or a Sharpie, something to poke it. Now there's the perfect little perforated little, and it starts then. The experience starts then.
Because if you're like cutting yourself trying to open up this thing, it's already
it's an
terrible.
orchestra. But once again, if the motive is, so now they are completely consumer centric. There is no, ever since Jobs has gone, it's my hypothesis that there's no longer a connection with a person, but we're okay with it because the product still service, but service a shitty product and not have, see, now I can make a mistake and I had one today, and actually I had to tell the truth and tell them that I fucked up on something. And I had made something for somebody, and it was contingent through a system that wasn't mine, but I still take responsibility for it. And long story short, that system had not worked. I alerted the customer and I said, listen, the thing that I built for you is contingent on the system, but it's still my fault. And it was actually something that they had gotten printed on something. So I ate the cost that they had gotten printed, and I'm now making another one, provided the solution, made it, and also took responsibility for it. But I think there has to be, I think business is personable. Integrity. But a lot of people think business isn't personable.
It is.
I think it is.
It is.
I don't care how rich you are.
Yeah.
Bet.
I think it depends on the type of business. But to have a more personable business, you're going to be more successful, I feel like, in the long run.
I think there's a lot, like for instance, right now.
Your why.
Yeah.
Like, what's your why? Why is it important?
And then once again, this isn't like a business consult session. I'm the furthest thing from business minded. But I also know the silver lining to my lifestyle is like, I do know that I'm going to finish last. It's okay. I know that I'm not. There are so many more people out there that are in the same realm of business that are monetizing every click of a button, every click of a stroke of a mouse, every post, everything. And I get it. But guess what? I sleep so good, not because I'm the richest man alive, but because I have the time to enjoy it.
You love you too.
It's fleeting though. It's so fragile. Like, look.
It is. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like more and more, I think the world is just too fast paced. People, honestly, slow down, smell the roses. Like
I feel like you slowed down a lot.
I didn't have a choice.
Not that I knew you before, but you have this, once again, for those that are listening, I can smell it.
I think what I do now is more intentional based, instead of just doing something and hoping for the best. Like this is what's going to happen. I'm expecting this is what's going to happen. And then that's what's going to happen. Like like we were talking about it earlier, like everything is possible. You can do whatever you want to do in the world. That's why I feel like a lot of people from other countries come over here and then make their dreams happen, because Americans they're in it. They don't see the possibility. Right. They don't see it. They don't see the opportunities that are actually here. They just become complacent, and they're like everything.
You've heard the story. You can't see the trees when you're in the forest.
Yep.
So it's tough.
It's true.
It's really hard. And I don't think everybody, I hope that there's with the availability of education online, irregardless of what the genres of your education, but if you can see, like I have a very dear friend of mine that I've seen have to live under horrible circumstances that are completely not their fault by byproduct of anything they've done. And not that anyone deserves anything bad to happen to them, but this isn't, he's not living in the ramifications of a bad decision, which rips my soul out.
Right.
And let's just say he's not mobile physically. And even us as humans to this day, and I'm no Gandhi, and I have my own issues, and don't be like me. But I will tell you, to this day, and since I was about 25-ish, because that's when I fell in love with myself, I make sure I don't grab my phone right away before I at least, and I'm guilty as charged, I probably don't do anything longer than 30 seconds to 60. And I say, thank you so much. And I'm a big fan of it. I say it because it's my show, but I don't care what you do and how you pray and how you say it. And if you do it or don't, I don't give a shit. But I say, thank you so much, God, for today. Thank you for this breath. And when I get out of this bed, make today be the best
fucking day. That's right.
And once again, we're all guilty of it, because I'm like taking 30, 60 seconds. That's nothing. And for those that don't believe in something, I don't give a shit, but just take a second to just because it's going to be gone. So
that's right.
Fast.
Be grateful for where you are, what you have, like the love you have, your health. Be grateful for your health, because you honestly don't know until it's gone. And that's the thing. People don't know until whatever they have already is ripped from them.
Right.
And that's when gratitude comes into play, and people start understanding why they should be grateful. But gratitude is one of the best feelings in the world.
I think you're going to have, I say this, I think you've known this now about me. Even when I met you, I don't try to have, and I don't even think about it. It's involuntary, but I don't like stereotypical dialogue. But I would say most people that I've met now in this newer genre of myself, as I like to say, what is the title of your book right now? Like, what would you say? Because you're gonna have many books, or maybe it's a chapter, but what's the title?
I think right now for me, because I haven't obviously reached the end yet, I'm still creating the book in life. That's what we're doing. But mine would say, I honestly, I'm big on this, is don't give up. In confidence. My dad used to always say this slogan to me, and I'm the youngest out of 4. I was always scared to go pump gas by myself.
Right.
Hey, here's squirrel, go pay for the gas. Right. I have to go inside there. I was terrified to do anything by myself. I'm the youngest out of 4. Everybody did everything for me. So he would always say, my dad always said this. He'd always say, stick your chest out, hold your head up, and walk like you own it. So confidence, even if you don't have it, will get you to where you need to be, comfortability wise. Fake it till you make it is a real thing. Do it. And just gratitude. I'm so grateful. Honestly, you can't get anything new into your bubble. You can't get anything new in here until you're grateful for what's already inside of here. Then, only then can you actually expand it and make it bigger. But until you're grateful for what you already have, you're not going to accumulate anything else that you want or need.
It's something that's beautiful.
It's true.
Don't give up is the title.
Yeah. Don't give up.
This chapter.
Don't give up.
I love it.
Because don't give up.
Beautiful.
Warrior.
You ever notice, I say this a lot, but it stuck. It hit me once when I was praying in a dark period of my life, and we say extraordinary so fast. Word extraordinary. So needs to slow it down.
Yes.
Say it slow.
Extraordinary.
Say it slower.
Extraordinary.
Watch this, even slower. Extra ordinary.
Yes. The same thing with outstanding. Outstanding from the rest.
So when you actually realize that it's right now, this is amazing. if we were in the ocean having this podcast, that's extraordinary.
Yes.
But be okay with ordinary.
Absolutely.
Even though
grateful.
Sitting at a kitchen table.
Yes.
2 humans talking.
Mm-hmm.
No idea what the fuck we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And we are breaking bread.
Yes.
Ordinary.
We're excited. That's
still above average because you're an amazing human, but it's
you.
an ordinary thing. Nothing new under the sun. If we were on a dolphin right now, it's extraordinary.
If we were on a dolphin right now, I wouldn't have this on.
Are you gonna do it?
And I will show you what it looks like.
I love your vulnerability.
We've been waiting this whole time.
I'm so proud of you. You are so gorgeous.
This is what she looks like without it.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes. Amazon, baby.
By the way, for those that are watching or listening, she's been posting this. And that gives me the most, like, I'm so proud of you.
It's vulnerable.
Because it's so vulnerable. And you are very much, do you know Teal Tranter? Have you seen her online or talked about?
We have a mutual friend.
You
Julia.
guys need to meet. And it's going to be a supernova effect because you both share this passion towards life I'm telling you right now, peoples, you wish you were in this room because it's palpable.
I'd love to know her.
She's an amazing human. I would love to put you guys, just be friends because you guys are going to like.
I've heard a lot about her from you, from other people, like from Julia. She's an amazing soul. She
became stronger through her. Yeah, and I know.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of you because I'm telling you right now, I envy your strength.
Thank you.
Because what I go through requires a toothpick strength of foundation and I still break, and I find such strength in your vulnerability and and I know it's not done. Like, I know you're not like, got it.
Nope. I'm in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it. And you're never going to be out of it.
Nope.
Meaning it's always like,
fear.
Even I told this kid that I was talking to the other day about he's waiting to make X amount. That's his goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't say this to him and I'll never say names, but his amount was like, that's it. Like, it's so adorable. I remember like, oh my God.
Reach bigger.
What you do with a little bit, you're going to do with a lot, but then it never ends.
Yep.
So I'm proud that in this moment, you've got for you to have fallen in love with yourself. When I was asked that question, it was the first time and last time I've ever been asked at this point, but the motive was pure. It wasn't condescending and like, when you love yourself. It was 2 dudes that were together dating or married. I don't even know, but they came at me with this beautiful love. And they were like, when did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I've never been asked that. And they're like, well, think about it. Cause we're not letting you leave until you answer it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, 25 was a massive metamorphosis for me.
Yep.
And they go, we still haven't.
Yes.
And they were in their 60s, 70s.
I love that.
They're like, we still don't have this.
It usually is. I love like the older men couples because they're always so like, I don't know, so inspirational.
So inspirational.
They motivate.
And they're vulnerable.
They are.
They literally wouldn't let me leave in a good way. Didn't take much the convincing. We had a 45-minute to an hour convo.
Yeah.
And they were telling me how they still are not comfortable in their own skin amongst themselves, I think. But I walked in just like this. I wear the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And they could sense this, like, when did you get this
comfortable?
Confidence,
yes.
And I'm like, well, it's not because I have a raging 6-pack.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited this is because I'm hot.
Yes.
This is why I wear no clothes, is because I'm hot.
Yes.
They were so impressed with that. And I had no idea that they were going to reciprocate we don't have it.
You never know when you're going to come in contact with somebody like that, though. They're those people, I call them rogues, because they are different from the normal person. When you come in contact with someone like that, I honestly feel like it's meant to show you something. Like you're supposed to realize something, see something, or learn something when you meet that type of person.
Well, it slows you down.
It does.
And here I was. I had my own. I'm feeling fluffy. If I just had this, if I had that, I'd be better. If I had, and they're like pity
parties.
And I'm here. They're like basically inadvertently saying, I want what you have.
Yeah.
Not monetarily.
Right.
But I'm going, and isn't it funny? We know this now as adulting, but when you're younger, anyone who's older has it figured out. You're like, oh, you're a teacher. You're this, you're that. You're supposed to. And now you grow up and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Nobody got figured out.
You live under a bridge, and there's nothing wrong with living under a bridge, but you're teaching me how to buy a house.
We're all Peter Pan.
I thought you had it. So yeah, Pete. Okay, real quick, squirrel. Favorite movie?
Lost Soul.
Lost Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
No, I'm saying Peter Pan. We're all lost souls. My favorite movie. You want to know?
Yeah.
Big Fish. Have you seen it?
Isn't that where they're like giants? And it's like like fictitious.
It's this older man who has a terminal disease, and he tells his family like what kind of life he's lived, but it's not really the exact truth about the life he lived. He always like blows everything up and makes it a bigger story than what it really is.
I need to rewatch it. I think I remember.
It has such
I can remember the cover. It's a yellow.
Yeah.
And it says Big Fish and it's skinny writing.
Yes.
I've seen it, but
it has such a good like plot and like an ending, like an understanding to it all.
Now this has been like your
years. It's old.
Always your movie.
Yeah, because it has a good like story behind it. They always like would talk about grandpa. He never tells the truth.
Right.
He always blows stories up bigger
than what
stories.
They
were. Right. But it's so that the person hearing it could get more entertainment out of it and be more excited and be like into the story. So it's just.
So Big Fish is your thing.
Yeah, I love
Have you
that
watched
movie.
it with your crush yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
That's a see.
We watched Princess Bride for our first movie, actually.
Is that the one where they say the baby?
Maybe.
Or that's Willow.
It's an older
Princess
movie.
Bride is what? It's a musical too, though.
Older movie.
I can't do that one.
Very old.
Yeah. I know that. I've seen it. Oh God, I know. That's a girl's.
It is.
That's in your Bible of movies. Every girl loves Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
Hook.
That's a good one too, though. Very good.
You know, I won't even watch that. You know, to this day, I haven't even watched it with the majority of people that are in my life.
No. You just enjoy it for yourself. It's for you.
Because if I'm watching it with somebody, which I've like never done, but even if I've tried and they're not like, if their lives aren't changing in front of me, I'm like, you're not getting it. This isn't a movie.
This isn't your kind of movie.
It's like it's everything
to you.
I promise you, I don't want to tell the world this, but I can fly.
Yeah, I believe you.
I swear, I had to fly.
I believe you.
I swear, I have talked about this with a few people. Whenever I'm in a high setting, I want to jump. Not to kill myself. I want to jump. I swear.
Have you ever been skydiving?
No.
I did that.
Have you? Oh, I did see that.
Indoor skydiving? Have you done that?
No, but I hear it's not the same.
It's not the same, but I did both. They're both fun and scary.
You flew.
Yes.
You flew more than me.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I've tried flying. I don't think I went high enough.
I think
I
you
need
should
some
do
more
like the
wind.
real skydiving. Yes.
I have a dear friend of mine that's on like past hundreds of jumps. He was in the service for 15
years. So he's doing it by himself.
Well, he can take me. And he took one of my buddies, and I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm the biggest baby. Yeah. I don't know if I could.
It's scary, but it's awesome.
I know. And I've never heard one person go, I hated it.
It just hurt my ears for a couple of days afterwards.
Oh, because the wind?
Yeah, so quick, the pressure dropping. So,
that. I never thought about that.
And I had tubes in my ears when I was younger, so that's why. But it wouldn't hurt you. You'd be fine.
Well, I maybe I could just get up there on my own. I'll just
fly in
the if they have a strong enough wind, I have my own flaps and I'll if you could breathe underwater or fly, which would it be?
Fly. Fly.
And do you?
Oh, well, no. I would breathe underwater because that's a whole world that I haven't gotten to like see or learn yet. So I would breathe underwater.
See?
It's beautiful. Yeah, that's what I would do.
See, because I feel like we can emulate flying so well.
Yeah.
But breathing underwater would be like
unknown territory.
Yeah.
Yes.
And remember, if you breathe underwater, you'd be pressurized too. So we're pressurized.
Yeah, underwater. I would do that.
I wouldn't even want any kind of gills or anything. I could just breathe normal.
Like normal.
Yeah. You ever seen Waterworld where the guy had the things? I was like, I don't want those. Yes. I don't want those.
Yes, just want to breathe.
Yeah, just normal breathing. Spirit animal.
So I already picked Under the Sea for that. So spirit animal, honestly, my spirit animal is an owl. And I would say that because I really do want to fly. I like the dark. I love their eyes. Owls are just kind of mysterious. I feel like I'm like mysterious enigma kind of.
You got a good owl move.
Enigma.
That was a good. You got that. And for the finale, They morph into an owl. They are beautiful creatures.
They are. Your Ring doorbell can pick up some beautiful owls at night too.
They are apex predators of the bird world too.
They're amazing.
They can do the whole like they're. Oh, you're right. You're right. Very wise. It was funny. I was at Oceanside the other day, and they have a fake owl at the outside to keep the birds away. It works. They're afraid.
Yeah, they're scary. I'm scared.
It's funny you don't see those owls during the day.
Nope. Only one of these.
Did we do it?
What?
Did you enjoy it?
We did. I loved it. I really did love it.
I could do this all day with you.
I could. I just have to go to the bathroom.
I have to pee.
Other than that,
yeah. Because you know what? It's 1:20.
Perfect.
And you have a child.
Yeah, I gotta leave in like the next 40 minutes. Yeah.
He is destined for
success.
What we'll close on this. What lunch table is he gonna sit at? Can you tell? Is it too young?
He's gonna sit at the lunch table where everyone's welcome.
Yeah, I know, but that's rather.
He better.
I know, but let's just. Does he have a genre yet?
Sport.
He'll be a jock.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but it'll be a jock that's like a soccer jock.
Cool.
Soccer jocks are like friends with everybody.
A
Football jock is like not.
It's funny you
friends
said
with
it because
everybody.
yeah. I love you. There's anything else we could? Did you good? Did you want to?
No, I think we did. We touched the surface.
Well, it's only just one show,
right?
And you can come back, yeah.
Yay.
And when you are back, you work at the Ulta in St. Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
Where in St. Augustine is it?
It's right at that 312 US 1 intersection by the Chick-fil-A, across the street from Chick-fil-A.
So in 8 weeks, though.
Yes.
And she's a little backlogged.
April 21st.
So if you want some appointments, you may want to reach out to her unofficial receptionist now.
Send me a message on the Instagram, and I'll get you in faster than the St. Augustine.
But you'll be back, and then I love you. I'm just so excited.
So,
and your book comes out.
Yes, that'll come out in like 2 years. It'll be called Don't Stop.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't give up. Warrior. All of it.
Well, I love you, and I'm proud of you. We did it.
I love you too. Thank you. Super nervous, but I did it.
No, you did. I told you.
It.
Let's see. Bam.